Day 90 in the ad wars, and we are very tired. But in light of that, YouTube has brought out a plethora of UI changes, which seem pretty cool. We're going to chat about that and so much more this week on the Stream Room. I'm one of your hosts, Nicktacular.
Hello, I'm Eljay. Welcome back to the Twitchverse YouTube podcast.
And I am Reapz, team sitting on the fence until they give me more income.
Don't let it fool you. He's outspoken in private.
So much,
all right?
so much outspokenness.
You know how they say, CEOs don't share their private views, and they don't like being lectured. Yeah, that's Reapz. Reapz has got all these intense private views that you guys don't even realize.
I've got a secret Twitter account that I just put my real views on. So yeah, feel free to find it, and you'll get all the 100% real truth from me, Reapz. But
yeah, I looked up my boss, my old crazy red pill psycho boss who used to call me a cuck and told me he could pick up any girl in this bar with his black credit card.
I remember that guy.
Yeah, nice. I told you guys this story. Yeah. He was like, he walked around a bar with a black credit card and was like, "You guys are young 22-year-olds, but me, you can't get them because women only want money," and flashed his black credit card. And then he tried to hit on some 22-year-old girl, and she said, "So can you please leave me alone or I will get security."
Wow, dude. Got him. So good. I love it.
It was so good. And then he was like, "Yeah, well, she was just, started insulting her." And we're like, "I think you're just an old creep."
Hey, listen, if you want to hit on us though, if you want to hit on us, feel free to hit that like button below and the subscription and the bell.
Yeah, the sub button's not red anymore. It's a little.
That's right.
That's right.
Yes.
And then you click the sub button, and the sub button turns into a bell. You click the bell. Well, it's amazing. But let me finish my story. Hold on. Okay, so someone said to me the other day, he goes, "Hey, do you follow up on your boss at all?" I'm like, "No, of course not. I'm not the kind of person who goes seeks out people I hate. I don't want my life to be that." And they go, "You should take a look. It's pretty funny." And I went and looked at his Twitter account, and he'd tweeted the day before saying COVID was fake. He'd had you know how Twitter, when you post fake information, it pops up being like, "This account has been
misleading
because of information." It was that on all of his latest tweets. And then his account had been suspended and couldn't tweet for 48 hours.
You can't flash that credit card to Twitter, can he?
Oh, no.
It's so funny, dude. It's so funny. He's also, if anyone out there wants to know how you spot someone like this, ask them if they like Gary V.
Who's Gary? Oh, is that the word?
Do you not know Gary V?
No.
Really?
Gary V is the OG hustle culture guru.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry. I didn't know Tate. I'm in the Tate space.
Look, Gary V, right, is this guy who inherited a $2.5 or $3 million wine business from his father.
Okay.
Right? He used that to create an online presence, right, where he reviewed wine badly, terrible opinions on wine, clearly knows nothing, right? And then built an online presence in early internet days, used the giant inheritance that he got from this company to invest in early internet, such as Facebook and Snapchat and stuff like that, made bank off those things, used those to grow himself bigger, and then started doing hustle and guide and culture, information about how to be a millionaire. Yeah. And all it turned into was him telling people that they don't work as hard as he does, while ignoring his massive inherited privilege. He would also tell people that racism doesn't exist anymore. Right? Because he's like, the old white man doesn't. He goes, the old white man doesn't control the internet, guys. So if you're a minority, or you're not a white person, you go online, you post, they can't stop you. What? Dude, Gary V is the wackiest person ever, right?
Oh,
he also openly admitted to market manipulation in the crypto space recently, right?
Oh, what a lovely guy. Okay.
So what he did was he openly admitted. So there's this podcast with Logan Paul and Mr. Beast, and they're like, "Can we talk? Hey Beastie, can I talk about the call that Gary V got us in?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, we should talk about that. We should talk about that." And they're like, so what happens is 30 of the biggest influencers in the world, Gary V calls us all up in a call and he's like, "You got to check this out. CryptoPunks. All of your money has to go into CryptoPunks now. It's the next big thing, right?" And Logan and Mr. Beast are like, "Well, it's Gary V. He's always right. You got to trust him. He's always right." So we all invested in CryptoPunks. And they're like, "And did it work?" And Mr. Beast's like, "Yeah, I made 70 times profit on some of these CryptoPunks that I invested in." And this other guy on the podcast goes, "Question, you guys keep saying Gary V's always right. But do you feel like Gary V was only right in this situation because he got 30 of the biggest influencers in the world to invest in it and publicly talk about it?" And Logan Paul's like, no, they couldn't have. There's only like 30 of us, and there's like 10,000 of these crypto punks. And Mr. Beast is like, Mr. Beast 2 lines before had said, oh yeah, I invested like $76,000 in the project and bought like a couple dozen of these crypto punks.
Jeez.
the mental gymnastics to try and defend the fact that, yeah, it's called market manipulation. The SEC might not do anything because it's crypto, but it's still market manipulation.
Yeah, that's right. That's the whole point of a private call and getting all these rich people to like dump all this money into it so that on the surface, be like, I was right. I know what I'm doing.
It's dude. And then he made his own cryptocurrency, crypto NFT scam where he just doodles out animals and then adds like an alliteration. So it'll be like Randy Rhinoceros and he'll like doodle it out, make an NFT of it and sell it. And so he did the exact same thing, called all the influencers. Guys, you remember how I was right about CryptoPunks? It's called Gary Friends or something like that, or
What?
V Friends. And they tried to do it again. And it's like, it's also flunked and failed, right? Same guy, Reapzy.
Yeah.
Guess how much he will charge you for a 15-minute sit down and meet and greet with him?
Like, are we talking like a Zoom? I'm talking to you for 15 minutes.
Like, yeah, talk to you for 15 minutes. You can pitch me whatever ideas or ask me questions.
1,000?
15,000.
15,000
for 15 minutes. And here's the thing. He gets all these people to like pitch him, right?
Yeah.
Right? So like they'll come in, they go, here's my idea for an app. You take a photo of a wine bottle and it will instantly tell you everything you need to know about what the wine flavors taste like, right?
Right.
And he goes, well, I don't really want to be involved in it. Thanks though, peace. Or he goes, I like the idea. I'm going to invest. And then he pretty much just gives you the $15,000 back that you've just paid him to be invested in the company. And then it doesn't blow up because of good marketing. It blows up because he's Gary Vee and has millions of subs. It's the biggest scam ever.
Because he's over the years, he's like established himself as a marketing expert.
Which, as someone who's worked in-house in agencies and talks to real digital marketers every single day, I only know one guy who likes him.
Yeah.
And it's my old boss.
That the fact I've never heard of Gary Vee before, because I've looked him up now and I'm just like, okay, inherited a lot from Leon the Wine Company. And he's in charge of the company, VaynerX, is CEO of VaynerX and Vayner Media. So,
he started those after his early internet investing stuff.
Right.
In fairness, he has said some good stuff. He had a good article I had a read of that talked about how to like making lots of content in one day, how you can use content and what you should like your best practice stuff. But it's a lot of stuff that like we've already known about and talked about for ages anyway.
It's incredibly basic, right?
Okay.
Like it's one of those things where it's like common sense. So he'll spout a bunch of common sense and then he'll say some really out there shit. So he'll be like, yeah, it's kind of like the Andrew Tate concept, right? He'll be like, yeah, I think that you should be creating short format, medium format, and long format content across multiple platforms to diversify. Also, I swallow every piece of chewing gum I've ever had. I don't think it's impressive, but I'd rather save those 3 milliseconds of time. Like literally, that's one of the ones, right?
I love that. That's
I'm not
hilarious.
kidding. Or he'll be like, I think that when it comes down to content creation, you should really heavily consider market demand. You know, how many people actually want to know about the topic? Something else I really think is important is every time you have a shower, I want you to imagine the loved one you love most getting shot in the fucking face. Like literally, that is a piece of advice he gives. I'm not even joking. Some woman gets up at a conference and goes, Gary, I have a question for you. I've been working hard on this topic. And he goes, stop right there. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to imagine every day someone you love. Who do you love? And she goes, my whole friends and family. And he goes, well, you're very politically correct, aren't you? Well, I want you to imagine your friends and family getting shot in the fucking face. And she's like, I don't really want to. And he goes, no, imagine it. Imagine it. Okay? Because that's what I do. And it's like, okay, my brother in Christ. It's like because he goes like, if you imagine that, it'll make you work harder. Live every day like it's still us.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing. It's like, my brother in Christ, imagine openly admitting that you've had such a good life that you have to imagine the worst thing possible just in order to actually work hard. Hey, I need you to have some of the most horrific, intrusive thoughts possible. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you won't be able to get to my level as a millionaire.
Yeah. To all the people that are listening right now who want to be streamers, I want you to imagine that you get shot in the face, and if you don't stream at least 10 hours a day, you're doing nothing.
I think his YouTube channel nowadays really goes to show that he doesn't withstand the litmus test of the internet, though. If you look at his YouTube channel nowadays, it's like 90% is shorts, and the shorts are only getting like 10,000, 15,000 views, which is great. Sure, I don't think views account to success, but when you've got 4 million subscribers who have subscribed for you, and that's the number you're getting on a short is rough, especially because he also only gets somewhere between 10 to 15 on a good video, 30,000 for a normal video.
Okay.
Which that's like, I can get that with 180K subs.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those things where you can't really stand the litmus test in this day and age, right? You come into it this day and age and you try sell like that hustle grind culture. You get more people being like, you bourgeoisie piece of shit. Eat the rich. Unions, motherfucker. But Gary doesn't withstand that.
Gary don't care.
And companies pay him as a marketing consultant.
Yeah.
Like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars.
Yeah. And it's like my man, are you seriously going to pretend like you know about the marketing industry in this day and age? Like in any shape, way or form? Like he's like, I pulled myself up my bootstraps.
Yeah.
But no, you didn't. Your dad did.
I think there's
I actually didn't know about these like investment things, so that's interesting to know.
There's a common thing about celebrity, right? You know, it's kind of like, remember the fact that Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor of California? Like, it's this weird thing that if you've seen them on TV, you've got this trust. Maybe it's like a parasocial thing, but it's like, yeah, I trust this person. I know what they're about. I've seen them do this, that, and the other. So like, yeah, may as well bring them on board to this marketing panel and everything because I know them. I feel like I'm part of them now. It's a really weird thing, and I just wish we could steer clear of that. But, you know, that's not going to be the case, is it?
My favorite one about Gary Vee is that he gets paid to do appearances, right? Mm-hmm. But this is how much of a marketer and how much he cares about brands is he didn't do any research into like any of these appearances he did, to the point where he went and did an appearance for an MLM, right? Stood up on stage at an MLM convention, right? And then straight up started saying to people, you know, if you feel like you're going to fail, you feel like all this isn't working, well, you probably haven't invested enough. All right. You really don't understand how the system works. You take $6,000 right now. You invest that into Facebook ads, YouTube ads. You get more people involved in your downstream. Okay. And then they do the same thing. Everyone makes money. But if you actually look at the stats of that MLM, the vast majority of people involved in it, it's something like 88% of the people involved in the specific MLM will never make their money back.
Of course not.
They don't even, and they don't even have $1,000 to their name because of how desperate they are and how much they've invested in it already. And he's so idiotic that he stood on stage telling a fucking pyramid scheme to invest $6,000 into ads to bring more people into a pyramid scheme. And then he just walks off like,
drops mic.
But that's marketing, isn't it? Like, it's a pyramid scheme. And if you called it a pyramid scheme, people would be like, I'm not going to invest in that. But if you call it an MLM, obviously, like multi-level marketing, whatever the frick it stands for, it's kind of like, oh, no, I'm in, because that's not a pyramid scheme. It's just literally changing the name of it, and people don't understand.
It's honestly, legitimately, he's like, it feels like almost a cult leader. Because everything I've talked about just then, I had to explain all of that to someone in the Stream Scheme Discord the other day because they wouldn't stop linking out Gary Vee's advice to people. I was like, my brother in Christ, please look at these videos. Please understand what's going on right now. Please.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you know, good advice is good advice though. And I'm like, yeah, that's why you don't watch Gary Vee. He doesn't give good advice. Like, it's like you can say, I find it so wacky to me because it's like, I can understand if he and I said the same thing. But the difference is that most of the time, if he and I said the same thing, he'd tell you it's your fault if you fail.
Yeah.
And it's like, he sets you up for such a bad mental state. Or he'll be like, you're just not working hard enough, you know? You don't take days off.
He's just very aggressive in the way he delivers him, like, advice.
Right, okay.
And he says things like this. This is my favorite one. He goes, you know, if you were born with nothing, if you were born, you know, as an immigrant with nothing, you have no money whatsoever, you are luckier than someone born into a trust fund. You are luckier than someone born into the 1% of the world. And you know why? Because I talk to trust fund babies. They say to me, Gary, for the next 80 years, no matter what I achieve, it'll never be my achievement. It'll be my father's or my mother's. I'll never have that. They're sad. Trust fund babies are sad, guys. Immigrants, you've won the lottery.
Jesus.
What?
Jesus. That's insane. You can tell he's got some major insecurities if that's his kind of thing. It's like, people just don't respect me because I had a lot of money to start off with and I made more money.
Well, he doesn't tell people about that. This is the thing. He's so cautious. He's so cautious about his narrative. Like, aggressively cautious about his narrative. He'll be like, my father paid me $2 to put stickers on wine bottles. And I pulled myself up by the bootstraps. It's like,
I don't trust this man, and I don't wish to subscribe to
his real leather bootstraps that he bought himself with the inheritance money.
Yes. I must apologize as well, boys. If you see me running off camera to the people watching the YouTube video, it's because I've just got a cold and I'll be blowing my nose off camera for the obvious reasons. I don't want that to be showed.
yeah,
so
you're good.
Yeah.
If I run off camera, it's because I'm probably taking a crap like soft serve ice cream. So I've got a terrible stomach virus.
Bless.
So anyway, hey guys, I was saying to you before this that I haven't streamed at all in October. It's 25th today. Going to date the podcast. The day of the big YouTube UI update. We'll see how it goes. See if they revert it back. I think it looks cool, but I haven't streamed at all in October because of PAX, and I got back from PAX, and I have COVID. I've had COVID for like 13, 14 days now, and then not just that, I've got a flu, and then I was supposed to stream yesterday, and I woke up and my stomach was just in knots. I've just had a terrible stomach virus, and so I haven't been live. And you know what? I said to you guys earlier, I was like, this is probably the most sick I've been in my life, and most unwell, exhausted, tired. But my mental health has probably been better than the last like 18, 19 months. And I think it's a large part of that is that I'm not going live 4 to 5 times a week.
Yeah.
And that is just like, that is really telling and weird that I have to accept that, right? Like, it's so strange that I have to accept the fact that I've been so unwell, but I'm so much better mentally.
Yeah. I think it's, there's two sides to it. I think if you're up the top, right, and you know that every time you go live, you're going to make money, subs. I mean, everyone's going to a degree, but I mean the people who make bank. You know what I mean? Like when they go live, I think it's a lot easier to be like, even if they have a bad day, they can go, at least I've made X amount, right? Well, with a lot of people who are coming up as streamers, they're kind of like just part of the grind, trying to get that community, trying to get the people watching them, trying to at least get a little bit of income so they can reach the next step, whatever it is. And when you do take that time off, you realize how much of a bubble that you've been in. Like when I went to PAX and I saw you, it was such a great experience, but I was like, I know that we're still doing, work and we're meeting people and, companies and everything like that. But it was just so refreshing to see you boys in real life, and, touch you, be like, okay, you're real. This isn't just part of my imagination.
He did keep touching. I don't know about you, Nick, but he was really touching.
Listen, I asked for
I felt some hands in places.
You gave it, all right? So
I mean, there was a written consent that was forced for me to sign when I signed onto the podcast.
I need a signature before everything. But to me, the big thing is I know that when I took a week off, and then I think I took a week off for it was just for PAX. It was for PAX.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, it's so hard to bring up those numbers again because it's very hard to communicate to people that you will be back streaming because they still have a week off without going to their usual streamer. So what do? They find a new streamer or they do something else. And then, they start doing that more regularly. And that's great. But it's just like, it's so hard to take time off that when you get time off, you're like, yes. But when you come back, you're like, oh, I've got that mountain to climb again. I've got to bring it back to what it previously was. I've been finding that more so, especially with the world opening up.
Yep. It's really tough. Like, and especially when you're going so hard at it for so long, when you finally have that break. Like, I think like it's so good to have things like PAX. Like PAX is the excuse for everybody, no matter where we are in Australia or New Zealand, or in some cases internationally as well, to just come to one place we can all hang out. And that's the mental refresh that I think it's almost not given enough credit with how much we all need that.
Yeah.
And to spend time with each other. I mean, like the case in point, the three of us never got a proper photo together because we're just enjoying the moment and enjoying the time hanging out and relaxing.
Yeah.
The only photo that has all three of us in it is a meme photo. So it's just because we weren't stressed about what we needed, what we needed to post or what we need to do. Apart from recording out an episode for the podcast, but we just wanted to hang out, relax, and enjoy ourselves. And so that was the big part of it. And I think it's all of us kind of came back feeling that refreshment. Apart from a lot of you guys getting sick, unfortunately. Mads and I came out unscathed, but unfortunately for the rest of you guys, it was really rough. But I feel that a lot, especially when I've taken some days off, and you feel that refresh. So I can only I completely understand how you feel, LJ. Especially this week, I'm only doing 2 days, 2 streams, because I've got my Nonna's birthday tonight, and then on Sunday it's my anniversary with Kirsty, and she's flown down from Melbourne this week. So we're gonna get some time to spend together. But then at the back of my head, there's always like, okay, I'm only doing 2 streams this week, so that there's still that worry in the back of your head of like, how's that going to affect things? What's going to happen? But I push it out because I've got, other things to focus on, YouTube videos that I'm working hard on. So
yeah. You've got to push it out is the main thing. I think a lot of people out there, when they're starting off streaming, I feel they feel it more than anything in terms of like, once they're into routine and they know that they're in the early stage and they finally got those 5 viewers, 10 viewers, 20 viewers, whatever it is, that you want to hold on to it and you want to like make sure that it goes up and up and up. And what you will find is if you do take time off, that it will go down. Like it will always go down. You've got to be very lucky to take a week off and come back and everything's as it was. If so, I envy you, as it were, rather. And when you do come back, just know that you can always build it back up again, but it will take some time. And that's what I got to keep telling myself. But the big thing, what you said there, Nick, which I think is very prevalent, is that I don't have those thoughts when I have other stuff going on. Like if my whole life is just streaming and I got to go stream, but in the back of my mind, it's like, yeah, I got stream, but I've also got this as well, like, YouTube, or I've got this event to do. It makes me feel so much better about taking that time off because it's for a reason. I know that it's not just because I'm being a douchebag and not sticking to my schedule. It's because of actual nice things. And especially when it's with family and friends, like that should always take precedent to make sure that you're mentally healthy more so than anything, because we talked about it beforehand. Content creation is always a struggle of ups and downs. And when you're in the downs, you feel it. And when you're in the ups, you're like, yes. It's kind of like, when you're just normal and you're not sick, you don't realize it at the time. You're just like, yeah. And then as soon as you're sick, you're like, man, I shouldn't have taken that for granted because I feel so terrible right now. And you can't remember a time when you weren't sick. That's what I felt like. It's just blur. It's gross.
It's funny, right? I've, as I said, not streamed at all in October. Like I've been dying, but I've also made and released 70 shorts, like 70 YouTube shorts. I've edited my own video that has probably done better than any other video on my channel, like getting like 310 browse views and like 30 new subscribers on it. And then I've made 3 Stream Scheme videos that have all done incredibly well, including the last Stream Scheme video I uploaded, which was getting like 700 views an hour last night, right? Wow. Which is 4 days after release, which is still huge. And it's like my second best ever performing video on the entire channel.
Wow.
I've not been live, but it's just like I've put out more content and also higher quality content. I've been able to do the podcast with you guys because the thing I think is really good, right, is the way I look at it is I can't go live for 3-4 hours and be streaming and be unwell, right? Because I can't cut, I can't go be right back, I can't pause to like have a coughing fit or take a crap because I've got a stomach bug and all that stuff, right? I can't do those things. But I can come on the podcast, do my little segment, have a breather, let you guys chat, respond to you guys, do all that stuff and have that balance. Or I can go find an old stream and edit shorts from it, or I can record an SSN video and then cut out the pauses and the breaths of drinking water and relaxing and stuff like that. Like it's all so much more flexible to the situation.
Yes.
Right? And like, I feel like I was thinking about this. I was like, man, if I wanted to go away for Christmas for like 2 weeks, right? Say I want to go away for 2 weeks for Christmas. All I have to do is record the videos that I want to release like early, or just record them and edit them on my laptop as I go.
Yeah.
Because you can do it all so like mobile, but I couldn't stream, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To the same degree. And it's just, I've always known these things, but it feels like I've had like a big wake up call to a lot of these things. Is that weird? Like it's almost like you can know something, you can have something happening. But when I was forced to do this situation at the start of the year because of my internet issues, it felt bad. But now that I'm doing it voluntarily, it feels relieving, like a relief. Yeah. And it's just very, very, the whole thing is a very interesting situation. And I'm sure people are like, Eljay, you've talked about this a lot, but I don't think people realize like how much it's really hit me these last few weeks, that it's different when you make the choice to actively focus on a higher quality of content.
Yeah.
And a more long-term choice of content. And I don't know, it's odd. It's just an odd one. But I feel like we've talked about all that shit so much, right? Like everyone's heard it before. You guys, also, I've had some great feedback.
Yeah.
My entire community has said to me, even all the small streamers, the Scuffed episode has the best content of any of our episodes. And I say the same thing to them every time. I'm like, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. It's our lowest performing in like 6 months. Like the CTR in it is so low because people like, people want certain things. But I think it's cool. If we get them in the door for one thing, then we just gotta.
Yeah, as we said, we're going to make it more kind of like a bit of both, and that's what we're going for at the moment. Because I was talking the other day, I did a tweet because I was thinking about the future of content creation, right? And I know that content creation isn't just streaming, because I think a lot of people are on here to talk about streaming and everything like that, learn about streaming, and definitely. I like to talk about the avenues that you take once you've kind of made it to be a streamer. Because as we've seen here, if you're sick or you've got to go somewhere, you're not going to be able to stream, right? So what's the avenue? So what I've been doing actively is trying to seek out like a management company to be like, yo, I can do stuff outside of streaming. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Because this previous week, I had the great fortune of being a co-host on Hex Steph's channel for the Black Adam premiere. Yeah, it was a great time. You know what I mean?
Awesome. And
I felt like really good about it. And I was just like, this is what I want to do. I really like doing live kind of entertainment things where it's not the pressure's just on me. And I had so much fun. And it was one of those things because I get to meet other streamers. I met Kyle again when we talked, in the partner room. It was awesome to see him. Saw Jess, Geek GG. I saw Foz. It was everything. It was such a great experience. And I want to do more of that. I want to do like commentary. I want to do hosting and presenting and stuff. So I'm trying to like find avenues to do that. And I think we need to talk about, that there's a lot of talk about what I think people want is like sponsorships. And the reason why I bring this up, because we have like a Discord group and, we go, I've had this offer or I'm trying to get this offer. And I think you made some really good points in there, Eljay, about sponsorships, because I know that a lot of streamers, when they get a sponsorship opportunity from a brand, they don't know how to approach it, because sometimes they ask, what's your hourly rates? What are you looking for from a partnership with said brand? So I was thinking, like, if we talk about that very briefly, I know it doesn't, react to everyone, but I'm sure there's some people out there who are like, how do I approach brands? Or what do I do if a brand approaches me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, can I also add a stipulation here?
Sure.
I have a problem that I see happening all the time in this conversation, especially for smaller creators. And it's going to sound bad.
Nope.
But if you're a brand new creator or a small creator and you have less than like 20 average viewers, I would say that 90% of the times that a brand will reach out to you, you are being scammed. Like I know this sounds like kind of intense, but I see every day people posting. We have a Share Your Wins channel in the Stream Scheme Discord where you share your wins. People being like, I just hit affiliate after 7 days, I was hit partner, like, oh, dude, I just had my best stream ever, and here it is. They share the screenshots and stuff. It's funny. It's also the most actively people breaking the rule of self-promo by posting their link, but I have a bot that just bans them. So it's very entertaining to watch them be like, I just hit affiliate, come celebrate with me. Link, banned instantly. But hey, that's rule 6, no self-promo. Anyway, we got the Share Your Wins, right? And a win that comes up consistently is, I just got my first sponsor. And almost every single time when you ask them, oh, who is it? What's it about? It is a brand you've never heard of. It is a brand that is offering them nothing. It is a brand that's openly asking for way too much, not paying them, and they have zero viewers. Like they've got like 0 to 5. You know what I mean? Like it's minuscule. And it is really, really predatory and bad. It's illegitimate. It also makes you look bad to your community that you're pushing some unhealthy energy drink, you know what I mean? Or whatever it is. Guys, if you're small, activations, aka sponsorships, be very wary. Okay? Just because Stream Elements emails you and says you have a sponsor for them. I love Stream Elements. That sponsorship program they have is one of the biggest fucking cop-outs I've ever seen in my life. That is not, they are not real sponsorships. It's fucked up.
Yep.
I don't know. Am I the only one who feels this way? I don't know.
No.
I mean, like the only thing, like I keep getting an email like once a week or something, and it just Stream Elements being like, hey, that Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship still there, like you should take it, the money's there. And I'm just like, delete, and I just keep ignoring it. They keep going, But hey, no. It's still there. You've got time to accept it. And I'm just like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just like it's constantly Raid Shadow Legends and bad mobile games. Like that's all it is.
I think also a lot of people get
predatory.
the emails that they think are sponsorships when it's actually just an affiliate link. You know what I mean? Like,
or even worse, it's not even that. It's just a link. Right? They think it's like an affiliate link, but it's not, because people like don't realize that like that means they get paid something, but it's not. It's literally just a link.
Yeah.
Hey, you should promote our thing. Or I'm going to say Razer doesn't do this anymore. Razer's really fucked up old affiliate program where they said, you buy our equipment, we'll give you an affiliate link to promote it to other people from that situation. If you do well, maybe we're willing to work with you.
Yeah.
So like they literally made it so that desperate creators were buying their equipment and getting money off them and then pretending like they were joining an affiliate program, which everyone knows, as we talked about earlier, that's called an MLM and it's called a fucking pyramid scheme.
Yeah, Razors was the worst offender by far. I could not believe it. Like I'd see like all these people would be very proud about like, oh, I'm part of the Razer program and stuff like that. And then you just look into it, it is awful. Like they have to have like half of their Twitch title, repping Razer, and they had to have like some banner and stuff like that. And it was terrible. Like the moment that a brand says you have to buy something first, that is an immediate red flag.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They should just hand that out for free. You know what I mean? If they want you to rep that product, they got to give it to you. So I think there's a lot of pitfalls that people will go into, because it is. I know that if I was like starting off streaming and you get your first sponsorship email and you're like, hey, we saw your stream, X person, and we think that you would be great for X product. Well, how about you come and reply back? And most of the times when you do receive them, chances are they're probably bots.
They are.
You did a very good point about how usually they use like a female name to gain the trust because it's a better.
I don't know if this was on the podcast when we talked about this one.
I think we talked about it briefly, but it's time for a refresh.
The quick refresh is I used to work in an agency, and as I said, the boss as I said stream was not great, right? So a lot of it was black hat, what they did, and black hat means it's a bad tactics. And so one of the things that you would build is called an email chain. And the idea is you en masse send out an email that scrapes for the person's name and email address and stuff. So it's all robotic. It's written by a real person, but the person who it's sent from is like fake. It'll be like Natalie S. and she'll work at the agency, right? Mm-hmm. And it'll all get sent out to all these people. And then what they found from data was that if they used female names, they would more likely to reply, which... There's a lot of different conversation about why. My old boss said it was because he thought it was because most women are receptionists, which I thought was just stupid. It's the dumbest shit ever. And I was like, how have you read a study to prove this and then still miss the entire point of the study, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But essentially, once they get a reply, then a real person steps in and pretends to be Natalie. And Natalie will say, hi, I'm going to forward you on to my boss now who's going to handle it from here. And they'll be forwarded to the real person, right? And I got this happened to me with a coffee company. A coffee company reached out to me and it was the exact format, exact fake thing. Like here's another one. If you guys didn't know, there's a website called This Person Does Not Exist. It is literally AI generated profile pictures of people. And so what the marketers will do for the black hat is they'll come up with a random girl's name, give her a backstory, and then use This Person That Does Not Exist. And they'll keep generating one until they find like, a semi-attractive, normal looking girl. And they'll use that as a profile picture for the outreach. And like that's and that's how they'll do it. And then they'll be like, sorry, I'm going to pass on to my boss now. And I had this happen with a coffee company. Coffee company reaches out to me, blanket, clearly a bot, clearly a not this person doesn't exist profile picture, all of it, right? All of it. So I replied saying, hi, can you give me a bit of info? Straight up. Oh, I forward you on to our boss who's going to be handling you from here because you're an important person, right? Can you give me a bit more info? Boss gives me the pitch. I say, no, I'm not interested. This doesn't seem like it's actually appropriate. You're not offering me anything. I don't want free products, blah, blah, blah. Right? And they're like, we'll throw in a free milk frother. I'm like, I'm good. I'm all right. I don't need a fucking milk frother.
I can froth my own milk.
Yeah.
No.
Literally, I go live in the same category like 4 days later, right? So what happens was they sent this email when I was like quite high up in, I think it was the Pokemon category when I was playing Brilliant Diamond, right? I was quite high up in the category, and that's when they sent that to me. I didn't play Brilliant Diamond for like a week. I go live again, quite high in the category, boomed by another person, right? Exactly the same company, slightly different name, still a female, still slightly different look, but it's the exact same background. All of it, it's like clearly the same thing, and it's the exact same email over and over. It is so predatory and fake, and they do this in every industry. But the problem is that in the streaming industry, they prey on the excitement, and that's what I think is like the most fucked up part of it. They prey on the small creators who they want to be like, you want to make this your career? Well, we love your content. They big them up and they try suck them in. It's fucked up, dude.
It's the first big break. It's like, oh my God, like, this is the first time I've been reached out to, and it's like it basically all logic kind of just goes out the window because they're just completely distracted by the fact that they've been reached out to and not really considering if it's worth it. And I've been there, like, especially at the very beginning when I was streaming, and like I've been there. Like, I know what that mindset is and how bad it is. Like, especially with like, it's less of a deal these days, but like back in the day with like Twitch teams, it was like, just trying to get into if you're just having a team, under your name, or like was like, sort of like a really, really big deal. But like ultimately it's a thing that doesn't really matter at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very much, they see it as like, I feel like a lot of small creators see it as that step of like, they're going in the right direction. They feel like they're growing, but it's what they're being reached out to is just they're getting used.
So 100%. And I've just sent you guys in general chat. You may want to throw this on screen in the Out Reapz for the visual listeners.
For sure.
That is not a real person.
God, it's me.
Oh, whoa.
that is an AI drawing of what a person will look like.
That's crazy.
It's wild, isn't it? Like, you can obviously show it and stuff, and I put the link there so you guys can generate your own ones. Sometimes they're a bit broken, but you just hit refresh once and it gives you a new one. And within 5 refreshes, you'll always get something you can use in an email. It is so inherently black hat, right? It is like so bad. It's clear. It's so faked. And Google does everything they can to try and like squash black hat marketing like this, to the point where now they're trying to make it that anyone who writes articles, they do these link background checks, sort of these automatic robot background checks to like, this is the person who exists. They better have links to say where this, like, to show this is a real person. So like the bot will be like, oh, this is a LinkedIn account. Yeah, it connects. Okay, this is this account. This is account. This connects. Oh, this person's written for these other websites. Oh, this person's written for 6 different websites in 6 different topics. No, when this person's not real, they can't know about finance. They can't know about gardening. They can't know about all these different things, and they'll shut that down. So it's an epidemic to the situation, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a truly horrifying how bad the marketing industry is in terms of like the digital space right now. And Google is doing like everything they can to fight it.
Yeah. I think a big tactic that they use is what you said before. And I guess people may be asking, how do you combat that? And I think the big thing is, one, do your research, actually go on Google and Google the name of the company and everything that people say, because you will get a lot of like Reddit threads of saying, I was reached out to by X. Are they real? And people going, no, do not do this. This is terrible. But I think if you do get like what you think is a legitimate, amazing opportunity or an offer, the best thing that I could say for you to do is to actually have a meeting with them online, like a Google Meet, actually see the people, because mostly they'll like to do it through emails. You know what I mean? They don't want to meet them. If they really do care about you and what you can bring to the company, they will meet with you and they'll be like, here's what we want to offer you. Here's what we think we can do. So definitely always see if you can set up a meeting is the biggest tip that I can give.
On the same topic, we all agree that you should not be reaching out to brands unless you already have a following or something of value, right?
Yes.
I feel like this is one of the massive mistakes creators of all sizes make. Either they're too small and have no real value yet, like they don't have anything to offer these brands yet, so they reach out and they kind of just waste their time and add spam to the inbox. I know that as a creator who has a decent following, my inbox is ruined by literally people who are just reaching out for the sake of reaching out, saying let's work together, but they're not offering, they're not explaining why or what they want, right? And it's even worse for like actual real brands, like, like companies. But also at the same time, I have the opposite issue where I have companies reach out to me and they're like, hey, let's work together. I'm like, what would you like? And they're like, well, I didn't think I'd get this far. It's like, you're one of like the 5 biggest tech brands for fucking laptops in the gaming space, and you've reached out without a plan.
Yeah.
What?
Can we make this real?
What do you have? Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you guys. I won't mention the name, but I got emailed by a company that makes neon signs, in Oz.
Okay.
Maybe I got one like 3 months ago. How long ago was this?
Yeah, around the same time, I think.
Maybe, yeah.
And the email was basically like, hey, so and so, like they basically like a quick little like sentence or two about like, you know, the brand and the website and stuff like that. It's like, look, I know we're both really, really busy, so I've attached a brief that you can read through. Basically, like saying, I don't have enough time to explain to you in the email. Read the PDF that I've linked you.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, sure. No. Oh, like I was just like, you could at least like try and sell it to me in the email that I'm reading right now.
No.
Because unless you've interested me, like, am I gonna bother reading this PDF? Or you know what?
Too
Like,
much
I
effort.
just
Too much.
I talked to you guys about a brand that reached out a while ago offline, and again, I won't say the name of it, but they reached out to me, and I feel like they'd clearly not done any actual research into who I was, because they were trying to pitch me a bunch of peripherals for streamers. And they were saying like they're like the best on the market, and they were like pitching stuff. But the way they pitched it made it very clear that they didn't realize that I'm not the kind of person who's going to just smile and nod at this.
Yeah.
Like it was like, they were like, here's a $150 condenser microphone. I'm like, okay, so what makes it special? And they're like, it's got RGB. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like a classic, like it's pretty much like a Blue Yeti snowball, but like it's not. And it's built in the exact same plastic chamber that like every single one of these brand new like microphone companies that come out use, and it's just printed in China. Like there's nothing special about it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, but they've got a $150 price tag. It's like you can get an AT 2020 plus, big nice metal chassis, has a beautiful sound condenser microphone, right? For the same price these days. And it's like, why are we going for this cheap little rattly one, right? Or you can buy a Samsung Q2U for like $90, and it's a dynamic mic, so it's way better noise reduction and stuff. And I said to them, I was like, hey, you know, I can't really promote the microphone because I just know just from what you've sent me and the noise patterns you've shown me and stuff like that, it goes against everything I've ever said on my channel, right? And they're like, well, all of our streamers who we've done tests with have said it's fantastic.
Oh God.
And I was like, well, what kind of streamers? And they're like, all established, all have audiences, all have stream rooms. And I was like, okay, so people with stream rooms, but you're targeting small streamers who are starting out. They're in bedrooms, they're in living rooms. They can't control the audio space around them. And that's why you tell them to get dynamic microphones. So I can't promote this. Or like the loop deck stuff where I was like, I can't promote this. This is too complicated for a beginner.
Yeah.
It's taken me a month and a half to get to the point. Oh, I didn't bring it to PAX. I was supposed to bring the loop deck to
that's
PAX
right.
for you guys.
yeah.
There's always next packs. There's always next packs. Don't worry about it.
Always next one.
Dude, it's still sat there just gathering dust. I think it's been like a year and a half now, and they still haven't given me the address to send it back to them.
Just go on eBay, mate. I'll send it as like a giveaway. Just go, here you go.
This is one of the rare ones that doesn't have the Razer logo on it.
Oh,
No, hear me out, LJ. You set up the loop deck, get the get it set up with hotkeys, play Minecraft on it.
I mean, I don't know. I find it very, very odd. Brands and sponsorships are a really weird one because the space is so tricky, and I feel like the big rule of thumb for me is understand what offer you have and what you want from them, and that'll solve it. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of hate when people reach out to me to ask to work together or do something together, but they don't actually have like a clear ask or a clear plan.
yeah.
Like, I don't care if the value you're offering me is small, but if I have to ask you what it is you want to do together, that's when the issue starts.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not saying I'm some fancy special person. I just don't like the fake kind of rigmarole, right? Give me in that first email. Here's what we're offering. Here's what we want to do. Here's what we're going for. Happy to talk and negotiate, but here's what we're going for. You know what I mean? But like the amount of DMs I get that are just, hey, love your content. Let's chat. I don't want to sit down for a 45-minute conversation. Like, what's the what is it?
Oh,
Like,
okay. Well, I thought that would work. Sorry.
well, okay, I had someone who was a friend of a friend reach out, right?
Yeah.
Friend of a friend reached out, was like, hey, you know, I really want to chat and pick your brain on some stuff. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. I can do that. I can do like 30 minutes, sure. Normally I would always say no, but he was a friend of a friend, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna do this. This is fine, right? And I get into the call and I go, all right, you got me for like 30 minutes. I'm down. What do you want me to look at? What do you want me to ask? What do you want me to give you advice on, to talk about? What's going on? What do we got? You know, hit me with anything. Have you got any questions planned and specifics, right? Because I thought that was what the vibe was. And he goes, no, I'm not got anything planned. Don't really want you to look at anything. I just thought we could, have a chat, get to know each other a bit.
That is the waste of time. That is such a waste of time.
And I was like, sat there and I was like, oh, okay. So we just chatted for like 30 minutes. And the funny thing is my internet actually dropped out around 20 minutes in. And I think he thought that I bailed, but it wasn't. I didn't like pull the plug.
No.
It was legitimately my internet cutting out. But like we never spoke again because I don't want to have someone set up a meeting in order to manufacture a friendship.
A friendship, yeah.
Like that's not how that goes. Like
No.
It was really odd and kind of just a waste of time, to be honest. It was super weird.
That does sound like a waste of time.
Boys, what are you doing? What are you doing Friday morning? I have this great business opportunity that I'd like to have a meeting with you about. It's called Friendship.
Oh,
let me know
wow.
if you could make it.
Yeah, I can make that. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I got nothing better to do.
I'd be fine if someone's like, hey man, having a bunch of people play some games together or something like that. Feel free to come along. I'd be like, yeah, sweet, let's do that.
Yeah.
But it was like a one-on-one Discord call
That's
set up
intense.
as if it was like, like a conversational feedback. And I guess, I don't know what the premise or the goal was.
Yeah.
Was it like, because like you can't really go away, even in the best situation, you can't really go away from that and have like a newfound friendship where it's going to one-to-one and everything's going to be fine. It's too formal.
Yeah.
It's awkward. I felt bad, to be honest, because I was just like, I don't have the time to be doing this.
I don't have time to do this crap. And that's the thing as well. I think if you are going to approach a company, I mean, obviously do not approach me if you've got like 10, 20 viewers, as we've said. But if you are going to approach a company, I think you have to have a good mission statement of what you can bring them, because they must receive like thousands of emails, every week about, can I please partner up with you? Can I get this for free? Can I get that for free? And I know that if I was in a position, put yourself in a position where you have to go through these emails, what would stand out to you? So I know that the way that I'm going about it is I see a lot of people doing it and I have not got on the bandwagon because I'm slow, but that's to get like a media deck. So that's why I've contacted people to be like, yo, can you help me make this media deck to people who don't know what we're talking about? It's like, I've done this, I have this amount of average viewers, I've got this reach, I've got these platforms. It's basically like a nice little image that you can send people and go, they've got all the information right there, rather than just going, hey, I'm Reapz and I stream and blah, 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 blah. It's just a nice way of giving them, cutting through all the bullshit and going, this is what I can offer. And they go, yes, no, whatever. So I would definitely go about doing a media deck. And I think that's also a really good method as well, because if you start doing a media deck and going, this is my average, this is how many followers I've got, you can kind of see where you would put yourself in terms of the companies out there. Because if you've got like, say, 200 followers and you're reaching out to about 5 viewers, it's like, you're not really going to go to, Corsair or Razer or something and be like, can I please get everything? And yeah, I think it's a good kind of litmus test on what you can kind of see your brand value as, but maybe that's just me.
I think it's really interesting because I've had a media deck for a few years now, and I got a new one made recently, which I've shown both of you, and I'm really happy with it. But it's so funny because like I look at it and I think to myself like, I know this sounds really, really bad, but I got it all made, and then I came back from PAX and it was made, and I was like, sweet, this is awesome. But I don't know if I want to do any more activations right now. Like
No, it's not bad at all.
I spent like $150 getting this whole deck built, and it's beautiful, and it has all this information, and like Stream Scheme's doing better than it has in ages. But I'm like, do I really want to put also extra pressure on all this stuff to make it do X and Y, or do I just want to focus on making really good content?
Mate,
like this video on
so
SSN
right.
that I just made. The video on SSN I just made has no sponsor on it.
Yeah.
But because it has no sponsor on it, there's no 60-second gap where there's a giant drop in retention rate and then comes back, And it's just like, it just performs so much better, obviously.
Yeah.
And it just feels like I don't know if I want to add more activations to the point where I'm like, hey guys, welcome to Stream Scheme. Last week was Owned, the week after was Epidemic, and now today I'm going to show you this headset. It's like
I know what you mean. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. But it's also, I think, it's where you are situated at the moment. Like if you feel that you need those activations or if you don't need them. And I think you're in a good space. So you don't need to do the activations right now. And I know that a lot of viewers out there are like, oh God, I got to see another HelloFresh ad. You know what I mean? So I think it's a good thing. But to those people who do want to like get their first activations, because I'm sure there's a lot out there that have never dealt with a brand, don't know what to do with a sponsor. It's scary. It's really, really scary, because I think there's two evils to it. There's the one of like, oh my God, I've never had to work with a brand. I just feel, crap that I'm not, a good brand compared to these other people. Or when you do work with a brand, you'll work with a brand that will expect the moon and more of you, where you will have to send so many emails, so many drafts, so many everything in between, and they will still come back and find and nitpick everything and go, redo this, redo that. And you're like, I wish I never worked with a brand. It's this weird kind of back and forth.
I think it's really, hard to come across like. Reapz and I, we've talked in the past, and we've talked about on the podcast in the past about like how working with brands, it's hard because sometimes the biggest brands and the best brands and the ones you want to work with can sometimes ask for far more or such intense specifics. Like you and I both worked with a brand who, were lovely to a degree and were fantastic, but they were also really intense about how you said their brand name.
The compliance of it.
To the point where like if you said the brand name wrong during the stream, you'd have like a producer going like, no, it's this way, it's this way. And that's fine because the producer has to do that. I'm not having a go at them. And it's like, I appreciate all those opportunities, but it is really interesting sometimes how much and what the rules are and how intense it can be when it's like, can I just make good content here and like you'll be associated with the good content, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you keep putting this pressure on, the content won't be as good and therefore people will not watch it and therefore you will get less conversions. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, no, you have to say this really minuscule thing that matters to us, but no one else in the world cares about. Like that's a hard fact to swallow for a lot of these agencies and a lot of these brands and stuff like that. Most of the shit they care about means fucking nothing to their average consumer. You know what I mean? Like the situation where I was just saying how you pronounce the brand name, it's literally like tomato levels of minuscule. And like the fact that it was such an important thing, I think taught me during that stream that I was doing, I was like, okay, these people don't really have a concept of what's going on here.
No, they literally sent phonetic speaking of the words so you know how to say it correctly. Like it was that. It's like, please say it as this. And then they would do the, write it out as they'd like to be said. And that's the thing.
It wasn't just once. They kept bringing this up.
All the time. Yeah. And then they have, you can't say this, compliance issues. You can't say that we're a X. You have to say that we're a Y instead because we can't be held, legality reasons for this under this banner umbrella of this certain subset of division of it was crazy. And it's just kind of like, I think a lot of people, when they do get like a brand or a sponsorship, there comes a lot of pressure with it. I know that I feel that when I get like a sponsored stream or something, I'm nervous as a wreck all week or all day before it because I don't want to screw it up, right? Like I know that people are putting money into this. There's other eyes on the stream at the moment. Just like, oh God, I just hope I don't screw it up. I hope my OBS doesn't freak out, everything in between. And it does come with a lot of pressure because I know that when you're watching it from the other side, you're like, they're doing a great job. They're doing fantastic. This is so stress-free. But you do not realize that to the left of you is a Discord where they're saying, do this now, do this now. This is the run of show. Go to here now, go to that now. And you've got to be really good at that. If you're thinking that sponsorships are all kind of like rainbows and I get stuff for free and get paid a crap ton of money, no. Just no.
Also, that you're intertwining your brand.
Yes,
that's a big
very
thing.
true.
I think as well. We talk about HelloFresh a lot, and like HelloFresh these days, people have kind of swept the concept away now, and that people are all happy to accept the HelloFresh sponsorships again. But if you look into it, HelloFresh are still aggressively anti-union, and they're still like aggressively trying to union bust and like do terrible things to their workers. And for a while there, no one could accept a sponsorship because this was big news. But the news is like swept away now, and everyone's accepting it again. And it's like it's so interesting to me to see the way our brands have to be intermingled, you know what I mean, into these things. And another really interesting thing is, you guys know, obviously I worked with Optus, and another brand which we just talked about, so I won't say. But it's very funny that every single sponsor I've now had on my Twitch stream has had a massive cyber attack in Australia. Both of them are some of the biggest ones, and they've had massive cyber attacks. And I said, so the Optus one, everyone knew about. We've all laughed at, right? Talked about multiple times, right? Yeah. But now our medical industry has had a massive cyber attack as well. And specifically, the brand that I did the sponsor for has had data leaked, full like personal information, passwords, everything fully leaked, and is being held ransom. And I said all this to my friend, and my mate goes, "Oh, so it's just a disgruntled Twitch viewer who fucking hates you." I was like, "It's me. I'm the common thread."
You're the one. Oh my lord!
You should put that on the media deck because accountable for 2 years.
Booty Man 69 strikes again.
Yeah,
he's tired of being brought up.
But yeah,
I feel like it's maybe a weird thing to say, but do you guys feel like we are in an era where Australia and ANZ is going to go through a series of like just domino effect cyber attacks? Because like I feel like ANZ and Australia has had this had this kind of nice flow where we've not had huge drama and huge stuff for a while. Like we have bad things happening, but like it's not like where you hear about international news where the consistently wild shit is constantly happening, right? But I feel like the Optus hack happened, and people were like, "Wait a minute, the largest companies in the entirety of Australia can just be hacked? Oh, okay."
Yeah,
it's like this domino is going to happen now.
Without a doubt. I mean, if it can happen to Optus, like the second largest telco in the ANZ region, it can really happen to anyone and anything. Remember when there was the big Sony leak? Yeah, that was huge. That was worldwide. Like all the PlayStation, everyone who had like a Sony warranty or whatever, like all their stuff was online. It was crazy, and they had to go like, "Oh, sorry guys, sorry fellas." But it really is that thing of like time heals all wounds, and people just forget about it. And like, nah. But at the time, it's like, my God.
Well, like I'm a part of so if anyone doesn't know, there's a thing called Medibank, which is like kind of like a big provider of like private health insurance and extras and stuff like that here in Australia. I think it's maybe other places as well, but Australia is the place where it got hacked. And anyone who's under that branch kind of fell into the same hack. And so the particular provider that I'm with also got hacked. And like it was such a funny series of lines of like emails that I was getting. The first email was, you probably weren't aware of this, but there's been a small hack. As currently, we don't think any data has been taken or breached. Don't worry about it. Next day. So, just so you're aware, the hack was a little bit larger than normal, but we're still fairly certain that no data has been breached and no customer data has been taken. Day later. We're starting to think that maybe some data was taken. Maybe there was some data taken, okay? Just be aware that maybe some data was taken. Next day. People have reached out to us and asked for a ransom to get the data back. Turns out data was taken. There was data taken. And then the next day, please change your password.
Do it.
Help.
If you didn't do it on the first day when we told you everything was fine, what are you doing?
Exactly.
It was the funniest like chain. Like I've never seen people just like escalate literally daily emails for 5 days until it got to the point where they're like, "Here's how to protect yourself from cybersecurity hacks." And it's like, what do you mean? Here's how to protect myself. You're meant to protect my data. What?
Yeah.
What?
What is happening?
It's like they've just been so carefree, and now it's kicked everyone else into gear. Been like, okay, update, make sure our cybersecurity is like top notch. Make sure we don't have any holes in the system.
Are you guys getting all the emails as well, being like, here in Australia, we've had multiple cyber breaches in companies.
Yes,
we're gonna let you know that ours is okay right now, but here's how you protect yourself.
Yeah,
use long randomized letter, number, symbol passwords.
Use a password generator.
You motherfuckers.
Yeah, two-factor authentication.
It's like.
Speaking of drama, though, boys, you need to fill me in on this Bayonetta stuff. You mentioned.
Yeah. This is so interesting. So, a few weeks ago, the voice actress for Bayonetta, Helena, releases a series of video tweets where she talks about how, as a voice actor, she has all of this experience, gives a bunch of references to all of her study, the years of it, how much she spent on that study, and how she's been working as the voice actress for Bayonetta for every single game, right? Since it's like it all kicked off, right, for her. And she talks about how, this is what she says, Nick. She says, I was offered a measly $4,000 for the entire game. That was that's fucked up, right? For the entirety of the new Bayonetta 3 game.
Oh, for Bayonetta 3.
The new one that's coming out, yeah.
What?
She's offered that's what she said. I was offered $4,000 for the entire game. And then she asks fans to boycott the game. Okay? Because that's unfair of amount of payment. It's disgusting amount of payment. Which I think everyone agrees that is an unfair, disgusting amount of payment.
Disgusting.
Right?
Yeah.
The company comes out, hey guys, That's not quite true. The current voice actor who came in to voice it, because she obviously didn't get the part, comes out and says, hey guys, there's lots of sides to every story, but please don't boycott because lots of people worked really hard on this game. Everyone is spit roasting the company, her lambasting, everyone's ripping into like, Helena deserves better. The creator of Bayonetta is on Twitter wild and out talking about how like people are pieces of shit, don't believe people. Like he's a xenophobic guy as well, so anyone who tweets English at him, he fucking bans them and blocks them, right? Like it's wild. The guy's not making it any better. Everyone's like, fuck Bayonetta 3, fuck Bayonetta 3. Then a statement comes out. Hi, we offered her $4,000 per session to do 3 or 4 sessions of recording for a cameo in the game, not for the whole game. And she was actually offered a much larger sum for the whole game earlier, which she declined. And she asked for royalties and a 6-figure sum instead, which we're not able to help her with. And then it comes out that essentially she was offered like, I think like $10,000 to $15,000 for the original whole game recording, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, she reached out to Hideo Kojima and was like, you're a creative as well. Can you help? Now, her tweet says that he offered an extra $50,000, but I think it's a typo. I think it was supposed to be $5,000, but I want to clarify that her tweet says that he offered her an extra $50,000, but I think it was at $5,000. Okay. For the entire game.
He offered her $50,000.
That's what her tweet says. But
Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, but or maybe it was a different one. But essentially, it was they were offered another one, right? She reached out to a specific creative in Nintendo, and her tweet says 50,000, but I think she typoed it. It's actually only 5,000 that he offered, right? So she was offered between $15,000 to $20,000 to record the whole game, right? And then, of course, it comes out that when she wanted 6 figures and royalties and all these things, and they couldn't do that, they got someone else, and instead said, "We still want you to be part of the game. Can we offer you a cameo where we'll pay you $4,000 for 3 or 4 recording sessions?" Right? And then she went public and said it was just one recording session for the whole game for $4,000. And so the problem has been that everyone got up in arms about this $4,000 payment for an entire game. Turns out she lied and has now ruined the conversation around voice actor compensation by lying and just causing a whole shitstorm, right? By telling people to boycott everything. It is the most interesting. It's just like you could have legitimately gone to them with the original story about how much they offered, and you probably would have had people still successfully backing you as like worker compensation, voice actor compensation, because it is horrendous in the voice acting industry. But because she misled people so intensely, she's ruined the conversation. And I feel like it's one of those things where now like voice actors in the future come out and go, I was offered X, it's too little. People are going to go, I would like to support you, but remember Helena? You know what I mean? Remember Bayonetta 3? Are you 2 sides to every story? You know, it's like why would you make this so much harder, right? What interesting.
In your you've like reading all about this. Do you know what would be the average rate for her to actually like to do the entire game?
So
like
that's been a massive part of the debate for it as well.
Okay,
because it turns out that it's like horrendous that everyone in the industry gets different numbers and there's no real like standard. And to the point where things like Mob Psycho's English voice actor said, hey, I still really want to be a part of this. You've offered it to me, Crunchyroll, who are the producers, but I'd really like it if we did this negotiation, this recontract for season 3 of Mob Psycho, right? Can we do it through SAG, which is the voice actors union? It's an acting union, but voice actors fall under it. And Crunchyroll came back and said, hey, it's not about the money. You could get paid, you're going to get paid the exact same, right? Even if you got SAG or not, you're going to get paid the exact same, but we're going to let you go. No, we're not going to bring you on again. Because, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense because all that it would have been for SAG was that a union would have been involved so that he would have had moments to rest his voice. He wouldn't have had unfair working environments that could cause damage. You know, they weren't going to push him to do wild things. That's all it was. Just a better working environment. They would have paid him actually probably a little bit less because of all those things that the union fights for. Super interesting. So like this whole conversation has sparked this big uproar of people being like, wow, I didn't realize voice actors were being so horrendously treated. Yeah. Right? And now it's kind of been tainted as well.
It's crazy.
It sucks.
So I'm reading about it now. This is from Forbes. Basically, Helena She said that she was originally offered 5,000. First she was offered 10,000. She said that's too low, and then she went to Hideki Kamiya, who is
sorry.
Yeah, I'm butchering that name.
I think he's the founder or creator of it. It's really hard, because I feel like every single time I read about this, it's all like so much misinformation being spread by people with bias and like how it should be or shouldn't be. And it's like, I feel like I'm just getting it wrong every time.
No, because there's so many different changes each and every day. But I think, honestly, if Helena just came out and said, I was offered $15,000 to voice a whole game of a $450 million franchise, people would be on her side still to this day. But the fact that she said, I only got offered $4,000, which is not true. They said $4,000 for, X amount of sessions, is the truth there. But if she said $15,000 to voice an entire game voice, obviously, of the voice of Bayonetta, after 3 games, knowing it's a complete success, right? Huge international success. And she's like
$100 million franchise.
Exactly.
Right? And that's an underestimate, because she overestimated it to say it was a $450 million franchise, which that is a $450 million franchise. That's a big franchise. But I feel like you can confidently say it's at least in the $100 million upwards franchise level, right?
It's big.
Yeah.
Like
$50,000 would be like, I think, a fair sum to be like, probably for like the second one at least, to be $50,000 for you to put your, IP voice to this. So it's on all different, Steam, Nintendo, whatever it is. That to me is a fair deal, because if you don't know, people make bank when they do voice acting work. When it comes to like tonight at 7:30, those type of guys make a crap ton of money. The fact that they're getting paid $15,000 to be an actual character voice for this big old game is, I believe, completely lowballing. But again, it doesn't make it any better if people then lie on each side to be like, this is how much I'm being underpaid. Because as you said, Eljay, the problem comes in the future where they use her as like a case study of being like, well, this is...
Oh, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
can't believe her.
Who's actually telling the truth.
Exactly.
It's sad to hear that, like, but companies will actively avoid the unions as well. Like, it's sad that the voice actor, like you said, for Mob Psycho, was just like, look, I just want it to be run through a union. I want to try and protect myself, but I want to do the role and everything like that. Then Crunchyroll's like, nah, we don't want to deal with the union stuff. Like, you can get out. Like, it's just really crappy. Like, Crunchyroll just bought Funimation. They basically have a monopoly on like anime subscription services. So it's like clearly they got money to pay people the right amount. So I don't understand.
Yeah.
I think also so Jennifer Hale came on to do the voice of Bayonetta 3 after all this went down, right? And I want to read out a little bit of Jennifer's statement, because I feel like this was where the crack started to form for me personally.
Yeah.
Because like I was like really upset, and I was like, this is messed up to treat someone like this, $4,000. Like, I get paid that more for a 60-second ad integration sometimes, right? Like this is bad.
Yeah.
But then I saw this by Jennifer Hale, the person who came on to voice Bayonetta after all this, right? With regard to Bayonetta 3, as a longtime member of the voice acting community, I support every actor's right to be paid well and have advocated consistently for this for years. Anyone who knows me or has followed my career will know that I have great respect for my peers and that I'm an advocate for all members of the community. I'm under an NDA and I'm not at liberty to speak regarding this situation. My reputation speaks for itself, however. I sincerely ask that everyone keep in mind that this game has been created by an entire team of hardworking, dedicated people, and I hope everyone will keep an open mind about what they've created. Finally, I hope that everyone involved may resolve the differences in an amicable and respectful way. With love and respect to all of you, Jennifer Hale. Here's the thing. She didn't have to make a statement, right? You don't have to, but she was getting absolutely destroyed by people on social media, right?
Yeah.
But when you make a statement like that, I read that as, yeah, I know for a fact this isn't how it went down.
Yeah.
Because she, as I said, like, she says that she's an advocate for it. You know what I mean? It's the same way when I say to people, yeah, creators deserve to be paid. You should take an ad incentive if you need it. But at the same time, be aware that running those ads might impact your stream, right? Like, I feel like my reputation speaks for itself when I'm trying to be unbiased and fair in that statement, where I'm not going to judge you for taking those things. But at the same time, let's be honest about what these things mean. And so I feel like the cracks start to show the moment where other people start speaking up about
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's just a sad state of affairs, honestly. And Like, I haven't played the Bayonetta games. I would like to. They seem like a crazy kind of gun-heavy third-person type of Nintendo.
It's because of the nude women. Don't stop trying to pretend.
Okay, and the nude women. All right,
Apparently, her bodysuit is made of her own hair, and she uses her hair in attacks. So when she uses the hair to attack people, it moves off her body and reveals her nude, clad body.
Yes. She reveals herself more as she fights.
Yeah.
And then when she stops
combos,
attacking.
less hair on herself, meaning more titty. which is
Straight up.
Which is why people aim for the S+ combo.
So they get nothing but. Speaking of games in general, I think Sharky brought up another funny thing I saw on Twitter the other day in terms of, I'm sure that you also get these emails, boys, of when companies give you free game keys to a game that doesn't relate to you in the slightest, and it's just a random, this is our newest NFT game, or this is our newest like advanced horror PS1 type looking thing. We thought you'd enjoy it, so here's a free key. Now I shouldn't be
funny.
Yeah,
It's so weird because Sharky goes, I keep getting cozy games, and I was sat there like, I only get horror games.
Just swap emails.
I'm like a Nintendo cozy streamer, and I only get fucking horror games. And this man is like a horror streamer, and he only gets cozy RPGs. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Makes zero sense.
It
Sorry,
doesn't.
Reapz, keep going.
No, that's what I wanted to bring up is in terms of, we talked about sponsorships, we're talking about video games. Let's bring those two together. And the annoying thing that is your email when you go, we've got this brand new game coming out and we want you to play it. And I think also as well, if you're a new streamer, sure, give the new game a go. They're giving you a free key, and if you want to stream it. But
Careful.
just know
That's a hot take.
But just know
Stream
that if
Scheme
you,
Discord pops off about that shit.
Oh, really?
Every time someone gets sent, like say they got like 5-10 average viewers, every time they get sent a code, they'll be like, this game dev wants me to play their game, but they're not offering me money. And everyone will be like, that's fucked up. That's messed up. They should offer you compensation to play their game. And I sit there just looking at it like, this is very entitled. 10 average viewers, and it's an indie dev who's also got like just trying to start out, and they're sending you free codes. Like, this is, I would personally, I have and personally accept free codes from indie devs because it's free content.
Yes.
And I know for a fact that they don't have a lot, and I'm also small and starting out. Like, but it's a hot take apparently to think that way. And we're causing the death of the industry by allowing people to pay us with free codes and exposure.
But I just want to those people that think that, also know that at any time, the devs of these games that you play online on Twitch or YouTube or wherever you stream can easily say, we're not allowing you to play that anymore. That's our copyright. That's our IP. You know what I mean? Like at any time, they can be like, we're not allowing this game to be streamed. So keep in mind that you are making money to a degree off of using this game as a background to your creative aspirations. So
it's fair use. It's fair use. I've never read the fair use rules and have no idea what it actually means, but it's fair use.
It's not,
I had some guy comment on a video yesterday. I would never move to YouTube. YouTube is cruel and unfair for React channels like mine. They don't understand fair use, and that's why I go to Twitch. And I was so close to writing. I looked at your channel, and I for a fact know that you are not creating fair use content. This guy was listening to songs and then just doing this. That's pretty good.
But it's reacting. You don't get that? It's completely fair use.
That's a good moment. That's a good chord. You hear that twang? That twang's nice.
That's transformative, Eljay. I'm transformed right now.
It's completely different.
Commentary.
Completely different content.
It's commentary, so it's technically fair use because it's commentary.
Yeah.
Dense motherfucker. Commentary does not just mean you're talking over it. Commentary means you're adding an actual opinion or concept that needs to be talked about. Like, I was like so much just sat there like, and the only reason you get away with it on Twitch is because their copyright system is so fucking broken. Everyone's like, YouTube's copyright is broken. It's like, yeah, it is. But you know what? It's still built better than fucking Twitch. Twitch, you get 3 strikes, you get banned. YouTube, you might get 3 strikes if you choose to fight them or if you keep making the same mistakes. Otherwise, they just turn it to yellow, still push your video out to everyone, and the money goes to the appropriate rights holder. I don't know about you guys, but I would rather have my account go, hey man, this one video of yours, you're not going to get the money from it. It's going to go to the person whose copyright you used. You can fight it, and if you're confident you can prove it, it'll go to you and you won't get a strike. But if you fight it and you can't prove it, you might get a strike, compared to, we don't know what's happening, so we've decided to just give you a strike, and if you get 3 of them, we're deleting your channel.
True.
Anyone can do it. You can't fight it. Anyone can do it.
Yep. That's it. That's it.
I'm glad Twitch has instigated the system, like VOD muting and the fact you can see your strikes now, but it's still not a system that in any way compares to the options on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right? But it's
a lot
like
more in depth.
Yeah, but the thing is like people, they want to compare the two, but at the same time they just ignore the fact that like it's incomparable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just because you get away with it on Twitch doesn't mean it's a better copyright system. It's like you're being held accountable over here. Yes, people can misuse it, but if you're in the right, you can usually be okay.
Yeah.
Right? I understand it does have issues, but people can misuse the fuck out of this one too. It's like it's so wild to me, man. Like
Yeah, and this the example of this person that you brought up as well. Like he's like, oh no, it's fair use. Like, okay, you want an example of fair use? Go to Angry Joe and look at when he does like TV show reviews and things like that. He flips the video, right? So it's not gonna get tracked by video match or whatever it is, like the AI stuff. He puts like watermarks, Angry Joe show over the footage and then has it muted. Like he takes every precaution possible to make sure that it's within fair use and it's commentary. And they only use 3 to 5 second bits at a time. It's like, unless like that's the level you have to go. You can't just sit there full audio, barely saying anything.
Yeah.
Legitimately, yeah. It is actually horrendous how people just also, and you've just reminded me, an interesting one is people love to talk about how fair use is under 7 seconds. Right? And this isn't because I don't think you just said that. That's not what I'm saying, right? But I feel like that's something that gets said a lot is if I can use whatever I want as long as it's under 7 seconds, which is just a complete fucking lie.
Yeah, I was like, I've never heard of this in my life.
It's just an internet myth. The amount of times I'll be like, hey guys, don't use copyright that you don't own the rights to or have the rights to use. And they'll be like, what if I use it for under 7 seconds? That's what I believe you're allowed to do that. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
The shorter it is, the less likely it is to get caught because there's less for the algorithm to pick up. It doesn't mean you're allowed to use it.
Yeah, like even a second of a song can get you caught.
Yeah, it's like also this is a big thing for alerts. People just take other people's copyright and use them in alerts, right? And they don't transform them whatsoever, right? At all. And I don't know how to feel about it because I went into a stream the other day of a streamer who I don't have any hate against, no ill will or anything like that, but I felt really uncomfortable because all of this creator's alerts were just segments of Bo Burnham's Netflix show. And I think that, one, you're using material that is gated behind a payment, and two, you're specifically using them that the sounds will go off if someone pays you.
Yeah.
So therefore, it is a direct one-to-one system, and people are paying because they want the alert sound to go off, right? Like, so they're priming so they can hear Jeffrey Bezos, you know what I mean? Like that, right? Like, and like, I'm like sat there thinking to myself, didn't Bo have an entire segment in that show where he pretends to be a Twitch streamer and makes fun of how fucking stupid Twitch streaming is? Like legitimately, like he has a whole thing. And I just thought it was so ironic to use all of his copyright without permission, right? Because it is without permission, to get paid directly and also miss the point, a big section of the point about that show. Also, like, because that whole thing is about like being locked in a room and the concept of isolation. And he makes fun of Twitch streamers of the parasocial kind of concept they lean into and like make money off people and stuff like that. Like, it was just like so odd to me. Again, no ill will to the creator. I'm not going to say who they are, but it was like such an odd moment.
Yeah.
Like such an odd moment to me to like see this and go, oh, I don't know how to feel here.
Yeah.
Like
It's
oh, sorry, Reapz.
No, you go.
I'll say like I will, I'll find like a stream, sometimes, and they'll just have like a clip from, a popular song like as an alert, and I just sit there going,
yeah,
why are you doing that? Like, don't. Why are you just blatantly using just like copyrighted music as alerts and things like that? Like, why? No.
Do you remember when there was the big kind of Twitch backlash to DMCA? Where, everyone was deleting their past VODs because they were scared of, people coming after them. And now it seems like, as usual in most content creation, now that that's passed for like a year or two, whatever it was, people had just forgotten all about it and gone back to the thing of just using contemporary modern songs and just playing it in full over their streams. And it's like at any time, there can be just the DMCA coming down hard on Twitch again and going, yo, you got to pay us X amount of money because we can see through these past VODs. You've used this about 30 times now. So that's why I always use Monster Cat and NCS, as I've got like memberships to them. So I feel like safe in that regard. But I can definitely understand that there are people who just are like, I'm just going to risk it. And it's up to them, obviously, you know. But if it does come around again and you want one of those people that were like, oh, this is fair use because I'm using a transformative measure, but you're really not, then that's going to be the problem, isn't it?
I find it so disheartening as well, to be entirely honest. Because like, I don't, also this like, okay. I released a video a couple weeks ago talking about DMCA and like music you're allowed to use. And I got a little bit spicy at the start.
Oh, okay. Go on.
I said I have to explain what DMCA actually is. Because, and I said this phrase almost exactly. I said, because content creators with a foot in the game have misled or outright lied to you about what DMCA is in order to spark fear and in turn profit. Right? Which is me poking fun at the fact that when DMCA first happened, there were hundreds of active content creators in the space who were misleading what DMCA was so that they could make money off clickbait articles, clickbait videos, or purely just like bring attention to it and get anger on Twitter and stuff like that for clout, right? Which it was the case, right? People were like lying about DMCA, saying Twitch was the guilty party, that Twitch was actively striking individuals. Like people saying Twitch is striking innocent creators, stuff like that. Oh, so I just can't play any music on Twitch?
Yeah.
And it's like awful shit, right? And the only creator that I saw who was honest about it was Gaming Careers, Pete from Gaming Careers, who I have immense respect from. He said, hey guys, DMCA, it's not Twitch, and explained what the Digital Millennial Copyright Act is. He explained everything, explained safe harbor, went into detail and stuff like that. But of course, his video wasn't like horrendous clickbait, so it didn't fucking boom. Right? But then there are other creators kept making these videos about DMCA and maybe not always outright lying, but very heavily blurring the line between who's at fault. Oh, Twitch is just making me delete all my clips. It's disgusting. How dare you, Twitch? No. Twitch has always had the same system in place. This is just record labels have now understood what live streaming is because you got too big and it's caught up. And it's like, it was really bad. And I honestly think that all of what we just talked about with people misunderstanding DMCA, all the myths and stuff like that, everything, all the anger that's always aimed at Twitch, all that stuff, most of it comes from those early months of the DMCA drama when it first started, and content creators, rather than take responsibility, decided to take to Twitter and build outrage. And I show, like in the video, I specifically show all of these tweets from partnered creators with hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter and thousands of viewers on Twitch being like, oh, thanks Twitch. Thank you for striking an innocent creator. I might get banned. I haven't played music in months. Like all this sort of like just straight up lies. And like I show it all. And it's just like, it's bad. It's led to a lot of serious issues in our industry with people just completely misunderstanding what this stuff is.
Yeah. Fear mongering is huge. Yeah.
And it's
terrible.
It's for clout. It's for clout gain, right? It's disgusting. It actually is like legitimately disgusting because for decades now, before Twitch was even like big, before Twitch was even a thing, filmmakers and YouTubers have been using safe music, premium beats, right? Chill hop. NCS has been around for literally like 13 years. Like NCS, if you go listen to the top 5 songs on No Copyright Sound, you'll go, oh shit, I watched this in a League of Legends video when I was like 13. Like it is so well known.
Yep.
But people are acting like all of these new ones that have come out have like changed the industry. It's like, no, this stuff's been around for years. You've been misled. You've been misled and told to direct your anger at Twitch and YouTube for how they're handling copyright, when in reality, this has been the case for years and people are just getting away with breaking the law.
Yep.
Yeah, like it's good that there's more options for free music, but it's not like it just never existed before like the DMCA thing happened.
Yeah.
I hate how much misinformation goes around. Like I remember I remember getting into I think I brought it up on the podcast before, but like someone came in and was trying to defend like someone completely breaking copyright and like just putting copyrighted shit on their stream. I'm like, you don't understand. They don't have rights to this. They are literally just doing something that is illegal. They could literally have their channel taken down right now. And they just couldn't understand what I was saying. It is just frustrating. I can only imagine for you, LJ, as someone who's in the space as an educator, trying to give the right information out to people, and to see so much just go completely just off the wall.
Well, you can show them, like you can specifically show them the terms of service, or show them the Fair Use Act, or you could show them the specific like information that is out there on Twitch's FAQ about how Safe Harbor works. Like you can show them all those things, but they won't accept it because it's not what fits their idea and their narrative. Like I literally had people commenting on that video where I show all those things saying, we need to rise up against copyright. Copyright is predatory. What? Like, I get it. The system can always be improved, but what? And the problem is you can't turn it around and say to them, okay, so would you be willing to let anyone use your content? Because they'll say, yeah, absolutely. I want the exposure. And it's like, you can't pitch this. You can't pitch the argument because they're just so deluded in the concept.
But I think if you pitch the argument like you said there, because that's what I was going to do. What if somebody else used your content and they're like, oh, great, exposure. Now I get, more avenues and stuff. That's great. But what if then I told you the person that's using your content is getting the money off of it, then they're making more money than you did from using your own content because they've got a wider audience, right? Then you'll be like, I wouldn't mind having the money because I literally made that content and that's what's getting the views. But of course not. No, you like the exposure, right? So you've got to keep stung for now and just realize that that's what you're doing when it comes to obviously playing music or games or whatever it is. And at any moment, again, it's not Twitch or YouTube that's doing it. It's the literal people who have the ownership of the IP going, give us the money. This isn't free. We made this. We're producing this. Radios have to pay for it. Spotify has to pay for it. Everyone's got to pay for it apart from you, apparently, ? It's very funny. Yeah.
It is. And I don't know. I don't know. You guys know I have a lot of hot takes in regard to streaming and what streamers do and don't do. Personally, I feel like out of all the content creators on the entire platform, streamers tend to be the most entitled, but also do the most mental gymnastics to get away with it. You know what I mean?
Avatar.
Like, yeah. I mean, yeah. Or like that, let's be real, right? That entire situation with Toast and Pokimane and Ms. Keith and stuff like that, literally watching anime.
Yeah.
And then like the whole like, I was playing 4D chess to bring attention to how bad DMCA is on this platform. It's like, no, motherfucker, you had great viewership. Just admit it, right? You'll be a more respectable, bigger person if you just openly admit it, right? Yep. And just like, oh, the DMCA I got? No, it was fake. I asked my friend Lily Pichu to copyright strike me, and that's where it came from. Everyone freaking out. Lily, is your music not safe? I've been using your music for months. Is your music not safe? No, I didn't copyright strike him. My music's safe. Please, everyone, keep streaming it. I've seen a massive drop. My friend lied, and it's caused a massive drop in my streaming for the last 2 days. It's not true. I didn't actually copyright strike him. Why did you say she copyright striked you then? Who actually copyright striked it? Oh, 4D chess, guys. 4D chess, guys. 3 weeks later, Ludwig calls him. Hey, Toast, was it a real copyright strike? You really want to know? You want to know? Ludwig, yeah, just come on, give me the scoop, man, give me the scoop. Oh, I could reveal to you, my 4D chess, that it was a real strike. but you said it was fake and that Lily did it. Why'd you do that? Like it was I have a lot of respect for Toast, but that was the cringiest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life. The openly, blatantly attacking DMCA and ruining it. Defending yourself by pretending it was a fake strike. Throwing your friend under the bus, causing them to panic, causing their audience to panic. Refusing to admit that you lied. And then weeks later, when you get contacted live by another content creator to discuss the situation, acting like it's 4D chess and clearly being uncomfortable trying to figure out a lie and then having to own up to it. Like it was one of the most embarrassing displays I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just admit, I fucking broke copyright because I got lots of viewers and lots of subs from it. It's embarrassing. Streamers, they're so self-entitled.
I don't understand what goes through their head like at points like that. I'm like, is it just like, you know, inflated ego and type thing? They just think they're just bigger, they're just above it all, and that it just won't affect them. Is it like surely that's what happened? He just think that it didn't matter. He can do whatever, like they can do whatever the hell they want, and it just won't even matter.
Yeah.
I legitimately, I agree. I don't know, but like you can only make assumptions, right? And like if you go look at Toast's YouTube channel, 90% of the thumbnails are about his giant IQ in Among Us or something like that, and I think it's a part of his brand.
It is.
And he had to try save himself in that regard. And like it's like, dude, it'd be such a better concept if you just said it was getting me views and I made the 4D chess move to think they probably won't impact me long term.
Yeah.
So I went for it. That's smarter than the weird fucking arrogant 4D chess jokes and like pretending like Lily Pichu was the one who striked you and stuff. Like it was so odd. Like that whole situation was so odd.
Yeah, it was a weird time for Twitch, and I know that was like in combatants of the whole music stuff, but it just goes to show how much sway that these influencers at the top do have. Because again, lots of people then went under the eyes, and a lot of DMCA strikes were being leveraged against people because of what they were doing. And when you see people at the top of the game getting 60,000 views for watching a legitimate anime series, you're like, why can't I do that? You know, like if they're not getting punished and I've only got like 10 viewers, why not? Like what's the worst that can happen if these guys are willing to risk it all? It's a weird, I don't know, man. It's just
the era of watching, you know, Gordon Ramsay kitchen nightmares and things like that.
Yeah.
Just them constantly watching that. It's like, ugh.
Well, I just thought it was I don't know, man. I think that there's just a horrendous entitlement in every time more and more drama comes up on Twitch. It really is just like the mental gymnastics we see. It's really funny. Like I was watching Northern Lion the other day, and I love Northern Lion because he straight up calls out the Twitch community so well. And on this particular one, he recorded an episode of Super Auto Pets the day of like the Twitch adpocalypse announcement. And he was laughing about all the people on Twitter being like, I would never run 6 ads for $50,000. I would never do it. I would never do it for my content. Which is just, it is hilarious, right? To like, you pop off. Yeah. You're the content creator king. It's like, dude, I'm not going to judge you for running them if you want to run them. I'm just going to be honest about the impact it'll have on your audience, right? Yeah. But like Northern Lion was like joking and like laughing about all these people like going back and forth and arguing and stuff like that. And he just looks at the camera and goes, what happened to Twitch? Why don't you streamers just tell a joke? Just what about the one where the chicken crossed the road? Just tell me a joke. Tell me any joke. Tell me any piece of content, right? Anything. And I was just sat there just laughing my fucking ass off because I'm part of that. I'm getting called out in that same one, but I'm self-aware that I'm the one being called out as well for that.
Yeah.
But it's so fucking funny at the same time. Just tell a fucking joke. And that's this is a serious problem. The more and more I go to Twitch streams these days, the less and less there's actually content.
Yeah.
It's just complaining or upset or promoting something else or having a hashtag ad or an affiliate link. Or I feel like the only people I go to these days and actually see content are Out Reapz, Northern Lion, and Chiblee. Right? I don't. Sadly, Nick, you stream too late for me, so I don't see it.
Yeah, it's okay. No, I stream late. Yeah.
But like those are the 3 creators who I watch, and I'm like, yeah, they're actually telling jokes and making content. Yeah. Everyone else is like, hey, welcome to Overwatch 2 sponsorship. Hashtag ad, ! Overwatch 2. The loot box.
I tell you what, though, if I got a sponsorship with Overwatch, they're like, you got drops today, but I'd be like, oh, fuck it, take it off.
I would absolutely as well.
Yeah.
Like, again, I'm not judging them for doing it.
Yeah.
But I find it really odd because I just feel like the content on Twitch right now is in a really bad place. I don't know. Am I weird to say this?
And can I also think, like, this may be my hot take, and people may be like, this is the dumbest take ever, Reapz, but I have found that a big example of why the content is so bad at the moment, because let's just describe the current meta of Twitch. The current meta of Twitch is drama. Would we not say? It's between these big streamers and this big streamer saying this about this big streamer and getting a reaction from this streamer, and then it creates this whole like tapestry of drama. And you
then
go
the
to
lower
Reddit,
end of it, hold on, I would also yes, but also there's the lower end of the drama, which is if you're not a big creator and you can't get involved in that clout chase, it has to be these new features are killing me. I'm struggling as a creator. The ads are too much and stuff like that. And the entire stream is just discussing that.
Yes.
Yeah. or whatever the new fucked up thing is. Yeah.
Yeah. You're dead on. You're right. When it comes to that upper echelon, it's what person said about this person. And then when it goes to the bottom one, it's about reacting to these features are killing me. And I think a big part of that, that mentality is also the Reddit. I know not a lot of people go there, but I think a lot of viewers of those big streamers do live stream fail. Every time that I go there, I feel my soul leaving its body because I'm like, okay, what's the best thing that people like reacting to today on Twitch? And the funny thing is, sometimes it's not even Twitch. It's literally Destiny on YouTube talking about the drama on Twitch. And he's got 50,000 people watching him as he's doing Factorio or something. And Destiny, I think he's one of those people that thinks he's this big intellect and people are like, oh my God, it's so true. Wow, what a hero. And I listen to his takes and he just rambles about nothing. Like, this guy is not a debater that everyone thinks he is. I'm just like, he doesn't say anything. He says a very general form of this is bad. People like, you go, you say it, you slay it, king. And that's always at the top of LSF, and it drives me up the wall, and I just can't take it because I want to see like the big up and coming creators, the ones that are like doing things that are like next level. Like, you know, we've got Kai Cenat who like reached 100,000 subscribers. You go, man, absolutely slaying it, killing it. But still, all of his content up there isn't about what he did to get those 100,000 subscribers. It's about him reaching that 100,000 subscriber mark and the reaction from it. And it's like, well, that's great, but where's the actual content? This is just a reaction. And it's just, I don't know, man. That's why I think I'm finding it very hard to be like really kind of inspired by going on Twitch these days. Because as we talked about, if you do original content or like big things like game shows or whatever it is, it's so hard to get those viewers because they don't care. They just want to see React commentary. They want to see drama. And they want to see what they've always known. And anything outside of that box, they're like, it's not worth my time. I can't get invested. It's too much effort.
But then here's the thing though, right? You know what's so weird? And maybe people are going to say, honestly, if you're listening to this, please let me know in the comments or on the Stream Room Twitter if you feel like I'm wrong here. But all of those things you said right there are right. It shoehorns you in. They want certain things. They want the kind of parasocial, we want to watch cartoons or TV with you, react with you on YouTube videos. We want to see the drama. We want to have that personal relationship with you and all that stuff like that, right? And then it's like, okay, I'm going to do this big stream where, for example, I let my chat bake a cake with me, or, you know, Point Crow does like battleships live, or Ludwig does some big event and stuff like that. It's like, you get X number of views. Maybe you don't get much. Maybe you do. It doesn't really matter, really. It's like, okay, cool. It's over and done. But that's how Twitch is, right? It's what people want. You can't really go do those giant events, especially at our size.
Yep.
But if you come up with a really cool idea, and you think of like a really cool way to package it and present it, YouTube doesn't matter if you have no viewership. You can do it, right? Like, there's a guy who was like, I bought 10,000 Mr. Beast chocolates. I'm going to open them all. And he had 0 subscribers. 0 subscribers. And he got millions of views on that video, and it launched his entire channel, right? Because he packaged it in an interesting way, thought of an interesting topic that had supply that people wanted to know about it, and went from there. But if he made it a stream, I bought 10,000 Mr. Beast chocolate bars and went live and opened them all for 5 hours in a stream, he's not going to get any traction or views from that.
It's a really good point. Really good point.
It's so weird that the live streaming space, and specifically Twitch, so aggressively hampers you in what you can create around our size and around the small creator size. Whereas YouTube, it's like, no. If you make something good and have good packaging, you can actually just pop off from one video. Literally just one video can do well. I shared in our Discord earlier today, a creator who had a decent sized following, I would say, not a huge following, but a decent sized following, uploaded a bunch of YouTube shorts. One of them did really well, got like 10,000 views. And then 5 months after it had got 10,000 views, it hit the short shelf again and has had 4 million views in the space of a couple days.
My God.
And he's received 110,000 subs, and his entire channel is booming from it as well.
What was this short? Hold up, what?
He uploaded a short. And here's the great part of this, right?
Yeah.
It's not even a unique idea.
Okay.
He uploaded a short where he was like, today I'm going to pretend to be a statue in Fortnite and try and win a Fortnite game without moving at all. He flies in, lands, T-poses up against a white wall in a full white skin, and like tries to hide it, right? And just voiceovers his reaction as people like walk past him or walk up to him or do things like that. really short, but a fun thing to watch. Original content, sort of. He just stole Laserbeam, to be entirely
I was
honest.
going to say it seems laser. Yeah.
It's a Laserbeam video that he's just kind of turned. He's turned his own concept into it, right? But it got millions and millions and millions of views, and it's just completely launched his channel to a whole new degree, a whole new atmosphere of size. And people go, oh well, short views don't matter as much, and those 100,000 subs might not help his other videos grow. The thing I say to you is that building a brand and building a career in this space isn't necessarily about the number of views you have on your long format videos or how many average viewers you have. This entire space is about farming impressions. That's it. And this is why drama works so well, is because your entire goal is to get your face and your brand in front of as many people as possible. Okay. And the more time someone sees you, the more likely they are to convert to an actual member of your brand's audience or your brand's community, right? That's what it is. You're just farming impressions. That's why shorts and TikToks are so powerful, is because, yeah, maybe you get 10,000 views on a short and that's it. That's 10,000 impressions of your face.
Yeah.
If even 10% or 1% of those people convert, that is huge. And you keep doing that, and you keep doing that, and you keep building impressions and keep farming impressions, and your brand reaches more people and grows larger. And I just feel like it's so strange to me that people don't understand that. That people are so like ready to argue and say like, why would I be like, someone commented on my latest video, I can't believe people are proud to, he wrote this, I can't believe people are proud to stream on a platform that's named after the sound a clock makes. And I wrote back, yeah, because an involuntary muscle movement is where you want to be streaming. And I said, what a dumb take. Do you not want to grow? Like, it's such an idiotic take. And it's, you know what? I have a hot take. If you're one of those people who says, I don't like TikTok, I don't like shorts, I don't want to watch them, I don't want to make content in those spaces. Here's my hot take. You're just lazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. It's learned helplessness. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean you shouldn't be involved in it, or doesn't mean you should be attempting to be involved in it. Early internet days, people were like, I don't know about this YouTube thing. I'm going to keep blogging.
Yeah.
It's like, no, if you really, you don't have to be involved in it. But if you don't want to be involved in the most powerful tool to grow impressions and grow an audience, and you're not going to put time into understanding how those platforms work, or you're just going to pump out lazy, barely converted ones, then you don't get to complain when they don't perform.
Yeah. Right?
But people are sat there like, my YouTube channel gets no views. My Twitch stream gets no views. Okay, well, are you using one of the most powerful tools ever? Why would I create content on a platform named after a clock sound? I don't post on TikTok. That's for kids. What?
It's just the refusal to do anything else. Like we talked about this, like, you know, like previously. It's just like they want to like, you know, the ability to, you know, you can buy a stream package from Nerd or Die or Owned or wherever. You can install it and then you can click live and then you go live, right? That's super easy for anyone to do. And that's all people want to do. Like we've talked about before, like people just want to be game streamers. They just want to play games and not do anything else to really like grow themselves or grow their skill set. And that, look, sometimes you'll get extremely lucky. You might have something pop off, or you have a lot of exposure coming through to the channel, right? But otherwise, it's just not going to happen. And I think people are just expecting it to happen. Like you've talked about, was it protagonist syndrome?
I just make a joke about main character syndrome.
Yeah, main character syndrome. So yeah, I think it's just absolutely silly. Like that, you know, people just can't get it in their mindset. But also, like the thing with about, you know, clout chain stuff is like that's what leads people to do controversial things as well, because they know that you know, like the whole like they go with the methodology. Any publicity is good publicity. So they'll do controversial things and say stuff just because they know it'll get out there. It'll invoke an emotional response, even if it's going to make them look bad. I don't know if you guys saw it, but like I won't mention too much about it because I don't want to give, you know, much light to it. But there was a creator who was making fun of Amaranth's situation as well. Who she did a cosplay, quotation marks.
Yeah. No, I don't think. You're right not to bring up her name. Man, that was so fucked up.
Yeah,
I haven't even heard about this. I'm glad.
Yeah, we can tell a little bit after the recording, but essentially she just made fun of that situation and got absolutely destroyed on Twitter.
I have a hot take on this. Oh, not on the woman who does that, on the other thing of it. Any single human being who is tweeting about the Amaranth situation or making content about it, who isn't a close friend or has spoken to her directly before doing it, you're a bit of a piece of shit. Even if you're giving updates about how she's safe now or this or that or whatever it is, that is not your position. You should not be farming clout and trying to get likes and retweets by talking about it. It's not Twitch news. It's a serious situation. All right? And I understand to some degree people being like, hi, I am actually a content creator who is friends with her. I've spoken to her, and I will say to you now, I won't give any private information, but she said I'm allowed to say this. That's different. Like that's a different concept. But there are people out there who have like, all they do is report on Twitch news, Twitch updates, Twitch features, shit like that. And they're just live tweeting out everything that goes down in the Amaranth situation.
Right.
And I'm like, and like also calling out other people for clout chasing by talking about her while they're doing the exact same thing. Oh. It is legitimately horrendous to see people not understand the difference. Like I have had a video that has been edited now for about a month and a half, fully uploaded, ready to go, and it's called Do Pretty Girls Have It Easier on Twitch? It's a YouTube comments video where I'm responding and reading out some of the most commented things on Stream Scheme, okay? I don't talk about Amaranth. The only reason I've decided, I was like, I'm not going to release this video. I'm going to wait for everything to die down because I say the word, the two top creators, Amaranth and Pokimane. That is the only reference to her I make, but I still refuse to release the video because it's too close to the situation and I think it distracts from an important situation that needs to be discussed.
Yeah.
And I think it is so messed up. And if you follow anyone at all, any creator whatsoever who used that situation to pretend like it was news or give updates or clout chase or post tweets and stuff like that, who aren't a respectable newspaper discussing a serious issue in a serious way, or who is a close content creator with her, who has asked her before doing it. For example, the Mogul Mail one, Ludwig said in his video that he asked her before posting, which I think is a better way of doing it. I think it's the best way of doing it. It's still clout chasing to a degree, or still farming impressions on a serious situation. Then I think you should really heavily consider whether or not you want to follow that person anymore.
Yeah.
Like Stream Scheme, in light of the whole situation, we have scraped the entire website, which is tens of thousands of pages, for anything to do with Amaranth, and I currently have a team of writers that we've hired going through and rewriting every single thing that's been posted about her so that we can clearly label her as not like someone who was a hot tub streamer by choice or things like that. Like we're being really careful, or we're just removing it. Information, because we have articles about hot tub streaming because people were Googling it so much. So we have articles discussing how it's not against Twitch terms of service. You got to stop coming after them, stuff like that. Like not negative articles about it, but we're scraping it all and removing it because the light of the situation, we shouldn't be getting traction or views based on her information.
Yeah.
And I really am shocked to see certain creators on Twitter clout chasing and pretending they're not clout chasing. It's fucked up. I don't know. I'm really disappointed.
I mean, isn't that the whole thing we're talking about when it comes to the Twitch meta? It is just clout chasing. It is just going after big streamers and talking about and having your view and opinion on what they're doing. And then the more information that comes out, the more drama you can kind of pull from it. And that's the sad state of affairs, because I remember back in the day, you know, people may, you know, rag on Ninja. We definitely do. But he was known at the time for being like the best Fortnite player, you know, and he was playing with celebrities. That was the news. That was the drama. He's playing with Drake Fortnite. Sick. I mean, what's negative spin can you have there apart from he's selling out by playing with celebrities? Well, now it's not about that. It's about what is the sordid shit going on behind the scenes, and what can I say about it? Like with the whole Miskiff situation, the Amaranth situation, it's this crazy fucking world that you don't see in front of the camera that's now being brought to light, and you see how much sway and influence that certain people do have on other people. And it's kind of sad that that's what's kind of being heralded as the only thing that people want to see. It's like watching a reality TV show every day when you go to the big Just Chatting streamers. And that's why I find myself watching YouTube more, because I can't be arsed with it. I don't want to be in that world.
Do you find that people also don't understand the difference
between
like something like you and I, us three have had a conversation in the past when stuff like this has happened, and we've specifically said we're not going to talk about that. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand the difference of us criticizing Dream for the Smile Club stuff that happened, and then us specifically choosing not to talk about the recent drama that was trending heavily about him. Because there's a difference between him charging his fans $50 a fucking whatever for them to get baby photos versus serious allegations.
Exactly.
And like I don't think people understand that like we're ragging on Ninja for a fucked up course. But if it was a serious situation, we're not going to talk about it. That's not who we are. And like, I don't know. I find it really frustrating in this space. Like really frustrating in this space. And it's like, I was talking to Iona about this and I mentioned how the YouTube video literally actually Iona had seen the video unlisted because EO helped me with by sending me some comments that she's received as a female creator. And so she'd seen the video. And when all the Amaranth stuff came out, she messaged me and was like, and I was like, I'm not releasing the video for weeks. Because I say her name, so I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna in any way. It's also too close to the situation. Just the concept of talking about females, the creators on Twitch, it would be unethical of me to try and get clickbait from that, right? And she was like, "Oh, thank God." And I was like, "I'm not that guy, right? I'm not gonna do that." And it just, to be honest, it kind of makes me feel sick that there are other people in my space who are content educators or Twitch guides who are using it for fucking Twitter clout to get likes and retweets. And it's like, what? You don't know her personally. You're not the news. You've not got permission to talk about her private information. Like, it's really gross.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think people know what the line is as well, to be honest with you. Like when they see something that happens on stream, which happened to Ammo with the whole thing, you can do the research yourself. I feel people are like, oh, because it happened on stream, it's fair game because, it was broadcast live. And you're kind of like, no, like to a degree, definitely you can see that because it's out there in the public sphere that you have a right to talk about it. But I guess it's that old saying of like freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequence. Like, you know what you're saying. You know what you're trying to do by it. You don't know the person, as you said, LJ. What you have is an opinion from the outside looking in. What can you give to me that's an opinion or a comment that 50 billion other people aren't trying to do right now to get in on that clout chasing? And it's just... that's you make a really good point as well. When we did talk about the Dream stuff, I think it's because that's content that he's put out there for the millions of people to subscribe to, right? Well, these allegations at the moment are hearsay. We don't know the full facts about everything that's going on. So we're not going to talk about it to that degree because, again, we don't know about it. We don't know what's going to come of it. And until there's a finality to it, then maybe we can discuss it in passing. But I don't think somebody else's drama plays into the fact of how that makes you a better streamer. Is that
no, I agree. And I don't know, I just think that it goes back to, we've talked about how like the serious stuff you shouldn't use to grow your own clout and stuff like that. But I think it also goes back to what we talked about earlier with the Northern Lion joke, right? Where he just looks at camera and just says, why don't you guys just tell a joke for once? It's like just make your stream is meant to be a show. And this is something that I constantly have to remind myself because I get into these weird headspaces where people come in, they're asking me questions about the latest fucking feature update. And I have to remind myself, that's not content. It's got to be a show. I don't want to sit here and complain about ads and shit like that. But we got to move on from this. Instead, I want to say I've got a tweet that's just gone out here by Jake Curtis. If you guys don't know who Jake Curtis is, every single person should be following him on Twitter. He's the gaming creators and shorts at YouTube. He's one of the best people you should follow if you want to learn about what's going on in the gaming space for YouTube creators. And he's just released a tweet showing where the new subscriber button is on shorts. It's right at the top in the top left.
So good, man. It's
excellent.
I haven't done a short in a long time, partly due to just laziness and partly due to because I'm just run down and got a lot on my plate. But I'm so excited to go back to doing shorts and knowing that there's so many more avenues to subscribe, you know what I mean? Like to your channel. Because I tell you what, doing these shorts, I have gained more subscribers in a short amount of time than I ever did releasing long form content. And I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm just saying, at least I know that it's working, that people are interested in it. So they're clicking on it and they're actually following my channel because of it. And the fact that it's now just like a simple tap on the screen, you don't have to go to the profile, you don't have to go to, like, it's just there. Be still.
So I should clarify. I may have said this wrong. Just clarify. The subscriptions thing at the top, what I'm saying is, this is a complaint a lot of people have had about shorts, that you can't get to only shorts that you're subscribed to. Yeah. The algorithm will only send you a thing. So the button that's at the top shows you it's only people you're subscribed to.
But I still think it's a great thing to have happen because it's an easy way to go for the content that you do want. Because Lord knows, love TikTok and everything. I'm bad at it, but I'm still trying to learn. I'm still always going to put out content there. But there's so many times that you're like, okay, I like this content TikTok. I like this content TikTok. And then there's this random thing you're like, where did the algorithm take me here? What is this? So it seems very good that they're taking this seriously.
This was one of the major complaints on my latest video as well. People saying, I want to watch your shorts, Eljay, but every time I click on one of your shorts, I scroll to go see the next one. Like, I've gone to your profile, I've clicked a short, and then I've scrolled to see the next short on the list, and it's taken me to a different creator who does similar content. And I'm like, that's just how the shorts feed works. It kind of sucks. Literally within a day of me posting this video and everyone complaining about it, I can be like, let's go.
It happened. You made change happen in a day.
I didn't, but like, but the upset that people have is like,
but you can still say it though.
You can say, I didn't ask them to do it. People were just
say that you did. All right, let's cloud chase. Let's do what they're all doing out there. Oh man.
Yeah, dude. I adore this change. Legitimately, like I don't know. I released a short this morning. 3,000, 4,000 views in the first hour, and then it just sits getting 100, 200 for the next like an hour for the next few days, like bringing people in. It sends 20 new people to my main YouTube channel because I still have them separated because I haven't got the update yet on my channel. And it's just like, it's such a fun tool. And the thing is like, I think a lot of people look at shorts and they think it's TikTok. But it's so not. Like, it is just so not TikTok. Like, there's so much more freedom. If you create good quality content, it'll just boom. You know what I mean?
That's what I love about the shorts, dude. Because I've seen this, and you can go, Reapz, you just make crap content. And maybe I do. But here's the thing. When I released the two same shorts on TikTok and YouTube, right? YouTube boomed. TikTok is like, here's a few hundred for you. And I'm like, where did I go wrong? What's the difference here in terms of the subset? Which I'm still trying to figure out. Maybe I just don't know the whole system. But YouTube seems to be more rewarding for me because I put effort into my shorts like recently now. And they are doing work. Like, I can see there's an actual output. While with TikTok, I felt like I was just throwing stuff at a wall, putting so much energy into it, and just nothing was booming. The one that I did the crappiest, least amount of work on got 20,000 views on TikTok. I was like,
on TikTok,
how is this different? What have I done? Because I don't get it. But I'm sorry. I'm venting.
Shorts. The thing is, like, I feel like three of the biggest myths I find when it comes to shorts. First, people think that creating shorts give you empty subscribers, and that people who come from shorts to watch your main videos hurt your retention rate. It's like, that's bullshit. YouTube's far smarter than that. Like, it understands how it all connects. Second big myth, they say it is just TikToks being reposted, when shorts are reward creativity. Shorts reward good quality content that someone spent time and energy making look good, sound good, feel good, right? It doesn't have to be 10 seconds. It could be 40 seconds. If it's good quality, it'll still do well, right? Like, shorts aggressively reward people who put effort and time in, right? And then I think the third biggest myth is that shorts are for people with bad attention spans or lower quality content in general, or they're just for kids. And it's just like that one's just such a fucking like lie. Right? Like, it's just such an excuse because, like, it's not the case whatsoever. Shorts are just bite-sized pieces of content that are absorbable from people who are on the train, on their phone, on any location in their life where they're doing things. It's just more opportunities to get impressions and build on an audience. And it's proven, if you guys don't know this, it's actually proven something around 57 to 60% of people who see a piece of short format content on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube Shorts are more likely to watch longer format content on the same topic or niche, right? It is a direct conversion. It actually works. And people go, no, they've got short attention spans. It's like, no, they don't. No. That's not how it works. If you watch, it goes back and forth, but say you really love Heart of the Dragon or whatever the new Game of Thrones one is, or Rings of Power. People are willing to watch a Rings of Power episode and then go directly to TikTok and absorb fucking hours of content about the Rings of Power, right? And they find these creators talking about facts from Rings of Power, about how the elves speak this way, how this episode ends like this, how this happens, right? And then they may go find this creator on other platforms. And it's very likely when they do, they're willing to sit there and watch an hour-long essay about Rings of Power as well.
Yeah.
If you feel like your content on TikTok or on Shorts is appealing to children, that's not because of the platform and the format of the content. It's because your content appeals to children.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just targeted at them. Yeah.
It's such a weird, those three myths are so strange to me that they're still so heavily propagated. And it's like, you clearly have done no research into the space if you feel this way. Like if you do even a second of research into the space, YouTube openly shows studies proving everything that people hate about it wrong.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
I will say, like, Reels have been, like, Reels is kind of like, I feel like this kind of like little bit of this underdog at the moment because they obviously have a good underlying algorithm because, like, you know, as you know, this a while ago, you know, there was a comedian I follow. He put like a maybe like a 30-second to a minute like reel that I watched, and I was like, that was really funny. And so then Instagram started to test the waters with me. They'd feed me like a different comedian's like reel, and I was like, that was funny. So now like, you know, I'll just end up seeing lots of like comedians, like the little clips that go up in reels. So like so even Instagram itself, I feel like they're starting to do some good stuff. Like
it's funny
under
you
the
bring
hood.
that up. It's funny you bring that up. I know that we're running short on time as we're at the 2-hour mark and we'll wrap up. But I have also been posting on reels, right? And getting no traction, nothing at all, apart from one. And it was weird to see like a notification on my phone saying 500 plus people have liked your reel. And then that was gone. That was like about 2 weeks ago, right? And I was like, oh, cool. One of them popped off. Sick, fantastic. Literally in the past 3 days, I've had constant notifications coming up saying somebody liked your reel, 10 people liked your reel. And it's the same reel. So it's not just like it's there in like a certain space of time for like a day and then it's gone forever. People are still coming back to this reel through whatever algorithm that they're pushing out there. So it's like, okay, I got to work on this. I got to keep going because, again, we're talking a lot about TikTok and YouTube Shorts, but as you said, Nick, like Instagram Reels is definitely a thing that's on the up and up, and they've got a great feature with their captions. Like if you go into stickers and you go to captions, their captions I think are the best on the platform at the moment. They're dynamic, they're bold. You can put them anywhere. They're just so good, so good. Yeah.
Is this like auto-generated captions?
Auto-generated captions. It's amazing. It's you go into the stickers section instead of the additional, and it says closed captions. You put it on there, and it gives you like the full list of what they think you say. You can edit it, you know, like you usually can, and then it makes it bold as you say the words, and it pops up, and then it like wipes itself and pops up. I don't know how they do it. It's the best one on there. It's really, really good.
Yo, that's pretty solid. Yeah, we're starting to post some reels at the moment just to do some tests. We'll see what happens. One quick thing before we go to questions, just want to say, you mentioned drops earlier. So Cult of the Lamb announced that they're doing some Twitch drops. They made 3 new cult members based on emotes from Twitch, and one of them is the PogChamp Raptor. And I just can't look at it without remembering the waitress now. Like anytime I look at it, I just keep thinking about it, and it just makes me laugh every time. I just wanted to point that out. It's just really
that's
funny.
Stay with us forever, isn't it?
It really will.
With us forever. That damn thing. Do we have any questions?
Move on to questions? Yeah, we actually have a question. Technically, we already answered someone's because we've been asked multiple times what our shorts strategy is. And I feel like we kind of touched on it sort of briefly, but I feel like if we answer that one or talk a little bit about what our thought process behind a short is, that could go really well. But first, I would like to give you guys a small gift. So I've very much reawoken my love of Nintendo and Pokemon. Okay. And something I love to do is I love to use this website that does Pokemon fusions. You type in your name and it will fuse 2 Pokemon randomly together. And that is the Pokemon that you get as your starter.
Right.
Okay. So I've got a few things here for us. Okay. So I will post this in general, but this is mine. I've already tweeted mine out. This is my Pokemon.
That was funny.
He is a mix of Krabby and Kingler.
Crabler.
He's just a Pokemon, to be entirely honest. He's just a crab. But I've done one for you guys. I've done one for
He's the runt of the litter.
So here is Nicholas's. I think, Nick, yours could be a part of the Blue Man Group.
Tentafable.
Oh
It
my
is
lord.
A tentacool mixed with a clefable. And I gotta be real, that face is something only a mother could love.
It's true. It's true. Oh
so
man, but I
unimpressed.
love it though.
Kill me. Kill me.
And then
I will love it if no one else will.
Reapz, you shouldn't be making too much
No.
fun because here's your boy,
Oh, God. What is it?
Victory Mime. Look at his little mouth.
It knows me so well. Oh, God.
He's like doing like a sucky face, dude.
It's
It's
like
so good.
the smuggest face ever. I love that.
I'm about to
It's
break
so-
dance on some fool.
Oh my God, I love it
Victory
so much.
Mime. So it's Victory Bell and Mr. Mime put together for those who
Yeah.
are listening.
Oh,
that is
dude,
amazing.
If you haven't seen this, maybe we can throw all three of them out as a tweet or something like that. But it's or throw them up in the edit. But I just think I love this so much. I've done them for all of the content creators I know, and it's just because it's always the same. If you write the same name, it's always comes out the same.
Yeah.
and so it's so fucking funny to see. I love it so much.
That is
Sorry,
amazing.
That's
No.
my little interruption.
Oh, good, I
Reapz,
love it.
No,
I reckon-
yeah, that was great.
YouTube Shorts, right? Our strategy.
Yes. So here's what I reckon. We've already talked a little bit about YouTube Shorts. What is the most important rule you follow when creating a short? I think it's the best way because they say
Right.
the question is what is your overall strategy, but I
Yeah.
feel like just your number one importance.
Okay. I'll get mine off the bat. I think it's a narrative. I find that the ones I've had the most success with are a narrative. So the ones that have really popped off is when I've said, here's the question, and then here's the construct that I'm using, here's the outcome, and here's my opinion. So when I go through those four things, they always do the best for me. Not just like a random thing of a jump scare or anything like that. When it's actually like a narrative of I do Google Feud or I do like Daily Dose of the Internet reaction things, I'm like, okay, here's my spin on it. That's the ones that have done really well for me and I enjoy doing them. So yeah, I would say narrative is the number one key for my YouTube shorts because I think people can easily latch on in that first sentence and want to see till the end. And obviously don't overstay your welcome. That's mine.
Yeah, I very much in the similar vein where, I mean, you know, it's a bit like it's obviously a bit harder when you're just trying to turn a clip into like a short or a TikTok where you're just trying to reuse it. And I haven't done much in terms of making content purely like directly for like targeting a short form, but I have a lot of plans to do that soon. But in terms of that, like it's being able to, I think, because as we've talked about, have like the title like is much more important on the YouTube side of things as well. Whereas TikTok, it's literally like if the first 2 to 3 seconds don't hook someone, like they're just gonna keep swiping. So when it comes to shorts, I try to have that good hook, but then have that good payoff as well. Like I don't feel the same, you know, that same like restriction on TikTok where it's like if it's not 10 seconds, like they're gonna get bored or they're just gonna keep swiping. Like as long as you can kind of, you know, string them along in, like you said, Reapz, in like some form of narrative, or even and you could use the term narrative very loosely. Like it could just be something that's happened, and as long as it lives up to the title, just like you would make for a normal video, that's kind of what we try to target. Like we really sort of try to think of a catchy title that isn't too long either. That'll grab someone's attention as they're swiping, they see through, and hopefully but the same thing of the first few seconds being enough to bring them along. I mean, just like when we talked about the guy before who had the short that just completely popped off. So it's a lot, you know, a tactic a lot of people do. They directly, in the first few seconds, they're talking directly to camera, explaining what they're trying to do as the hook. So like that's the thing I try to focus on a lot.
My focus is a bit different. I agree, narrative is crucial. I have a rule of thumb that it's about the punchline. I find that more and more these days I'm reminding myself that there's this amazing clip that I love to watch every few months, and it's a bunch of these amazing comedians, all really well established comedians, and they're in a green room and they're all having beers and just chatting and stuff like that. And by green room, I don't mean a actual green room. It's a podcast. One of them says, these new guys coming up, they get up on stage and they think it's all about attitude. They think it's all about that confidence. They think it's all about like standing there and having that confidence, the attitude, the body posture, all that stuff. And they forget there has to be a joke. And I think that's stuck with me so much, because I think a problem I've had with Stream Scheme is that it's shifted a lot of who I was as a comedian and stuff like that I used to be. And that's why I started growing originally, was because it was all about that joke, right? And I think Stream Scheme shifted me that I'm much less about the joke sometimes. And I think shorts have been a really good creative exercise for me, because the narrative that you guys talk about is correct. That's exactly right. But at the same time, for me, I go, my narrative is a build up to a punchline. There has to be a joke.
There's a payoff. There's a payoff like at the end of it. Yeah.
But my tip specifically about the whole thing is that I really think if you want to be successful in shorts, you shouldn't focus on the views. You should focus on creating an incredibly high quality piece of content. Okay? Really valuable piece of content for a really specific audience. Okay? So I'm gonna point out 2 shorts for you on my channel. Okay? I have a short here that is called Gengar is the creepiest Pokemon ever. Entirely original content where I talk through a bunch of Pokédex entries about how creepy he is, right? I show them on screen, I show footage, all that stuff. It's not the highest quality because I literally recorded the VO for it, and all the screenshots, everything, all the editing for it, it was all done on the worst day of COVID for me possible, right? No. I'm pumping Panadol into myself, and it's like, Gengar is the veil of darkness that comes in. Like, it's really rough, right?
You sounded fine to me, to be honest. So you mastered it pretty well.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Okay, they got 7,300 views.
Nice.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good.
But then I did Can You Beat Charmander in a Fight? Okay, which is also really high quality, but it's converting a clip. Okay, it's more just a punchline. It's a joke. It's quite heavily personality based because it's my joke. They got 21,000 views. Now you're probably thinking, okay, so do more of the Charmander one. And I did, and I agree, and it worked really well. But what I think a lot of people will forget to look at is the fact that of 7,300 views on the Gengar one, I got 500 likes, which is a really high like conversion. Of the 21,000 views on the Charmander one, I got 600 likes. So I got double and a half almost views on the Charmander one, but it made less of an impression on the audience. They didn't like it, right? Like they did, but it was such a smaller conversion rate because the content that they were given wasn't something of actual physical value, you know? Like I learned something, I got something new from this. But when I made the original piece of content that gave them information and value they may not have known before, it engaged them to think, I liked that, And I think that is a really big rule for me these days. Yeah, I'm going to keep posting the Charmander style ones because I can get lots of content out and still high quality. But it's really important in my brain to focus on, hey, what are people walking away from and how are they feeling? Because clearly the Gengar one made them have a more positive impact. Otherwise, they wouldn't have hit that like button on such a better conversion rate. So that's my concept of shorts.
I like it.
That's mine.
I like it. It's good.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, but also like YouTube's always highly valued the like button as well, right? Because that's requiring the user to interact with that video, saying that this was good and of value, even if they've watched it. Like obviously the watch time's good; they've watched the whole video, but the fact that they go down and like it tells YouTube this is very worthwhile.
To the point where there's actually a lot of discussion around the fact that when you like, what time during the watch session that you like also changes. Oh. So it's really interesting. So there have been people who say, and YouTube's never really spoken on this, but there have been people who say, hey, just a heads up, if you like now at the start of the video, it's less impactful and is less valued than if you like at the end of the video.
Makes sense.
Which is interesting, right? Because you think about it, if I told people, hey guys, like the video if you like it 30 seconds in, yeah, it would make sense that YouTube says, how can they know they like the video when it's only been 30 seconds? But if they did it right at the end, well, you go, oh, they must have really liked this video because they watched the whole thing and then they thought this was good, I'm going to engage.
That is very interesting and makes a complete load of sense because you do just get people who are like, yes, I'll do whatever you say. And then the people who are like, actually, I stuck around to the end. You can see it by my watch time. And then I've liked the video. That to me, as you said, Eljay, holds so much more kind of weight to it.
It's far more meaningful, isn't it? Right? And it's there's a lot of debate around it, obviously, still, and because YouTube's never spoken about it, which is one big thing that makes it tougher. Because what a lot of people think the YouTube algorithm is a mystery. It's not. The biggest tip you can ever have is go to Creator Insiders. It's literally a YouTube channel run by YouTube, by the people who create the algorithm, explaining the algorithm and what they value and what works. They have a whole series called Myth Busting where they just go through and say, hey, that person is wrong.
I love it.
Like, or just follow Todd B, who's the product lead for fucking recommendations since 2014 on Twitter. He claps back. People will be like, have like tens of thousands of followers on Twitter and they'll start tweeting some fucking deranged shit about how the algorithm works. And Todd B will drop in and go, you're wrong.
Smoke bomb. I'm out.
I love that. And then yeah, I want to see the one person that responds to that, not knowing who he is, being like, no, I'm right.
Yeah.
Who just posts a
That happened
screenshot of his
yesterday.
profile.
Oh, God.
That
No.
happened yesterday. A guy was tweeting out yesterday that he thought that short format content being used to promote long format content was terrible because all you're doing is bringing an audience in who has low average view duration, right? This is a guy who does stream advice. So I replied, hey, this isn't true. Your assumption is that YouTube is both smart enough to understand every user's retention rate, but also so dumb that they don't understand how users are finding the video and where they're coming from. Here is an article. And I showed him the article by YouTube and Google that explains that is not the case and that it's actually an incredibly powerful tool and it works. And he was like, I don't trust that article. I feel like that's just saying that people watch the long format videos. It doesn't say that that they're going to have a lower average view duration and it's not going to hurt it. And I said, okay, well, here is Todd B in a video saying that this tweet you're making right now has been around as a misconception for years and isn't true. Like he literally says in the video, he goes, yes, you may have a lower CTR or a lower average view duration if the video gets tweeted out, if the video goes viral on Reddit, if you post it as a short first or TikTok or a short brings people in. But that doesn't matter. All it does is give us information about who the audience is or isn't. And then we will base it more off recommendations on platform because we understand how browse works, right? Shared the video to him. And he wrote back to me, I'm not convinced. And I feel like I just need more information or something like that. And I wrote back, I was really shocked by that. I wrote back, I mean, that's the product lead of YouTube recommendation and discovery since 2014, saying that lower average view duration from external viewership doesn't impact or hurt your videos long term. And then the article I linked clearly explains that people do convert from short format to long format appropriately. I don't think you can get better facts or data to support the case, right? Didn't respond for hours. And then finally, quote retweeted his original tweet and said, hey, I am incorrect. LJM has given me proof that I was wrong about this take.
Good.
Which
That's good.
Is big. I think is big of him.
Yep.
But I do think the fact that he was faced with actual information and still refused to change his opinion until I said, you are literally saying that the people who run the algorithm are wrong.
Yeah.
That was a big shock for me. I was like, it's kind of like, imagine if Mr. Beast comes out and goes, here's the 3 most important things to grow on YouTube. And then I release a YouTube video and I go, I don't know if I agree with that. What the?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
No. Here's the thing. No, it doesn't matter that Todd's been working there for years. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's
You know
just
what I
been
mean?
playing Fortnite all this time.
I think I am glad that he did a turn back on the statement. And he was willing to listen.
That's what you need to do. If you get told you're wrong, you got to own up to it. Yeah, it's more valid.
Speaking of, before we wrap up, I will say one thing. We were wrong last week about something.
Oh, yeah, what's up?
Oh.
If you do the ad incentive program, it's prorated. So if you accept a contract for 100 hours and to get paid $500, and then you only stream for 50 hours, you'll get the 50% of the payment. So it's prorated. We were incorrect last week, but I would like to give defense. I made a dumb mistake and I listened to Twitter. That's my fault. I get it, but it's my mistake.
It happens to the best of us.
We're bigger people.
Happens to the best of us.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, that's right. But boys, we are dropping frames now. It has come to the end. This was a good podcast. Nice and chunky. We had a lot of good
to make up
topics.
for all the PAX shenanigans that happened. I mean,
It's not that long.
That one.
We normally do like 220.
Okay.
It's been right there, but no. Well, thank everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And you know what? Now that we're at the end of the video, now's the perfect time to hit that like button and subscribe, because we are getting closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers on the channel, and we appreciate it. Look, and if you think someone that you know would really like this podcast, like listening to the stuff that we talk about, especially as we're starting to branch out on different topics and things like that, share it around. Recommend it.
Please.
Please. We would really appreciate it. And thank you again for watching or listening. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.